Right, am I live? Select the stream. Refresh. Collect that one. Right, now I have to put up. How do you? All right. Hello, everyone sneaking in behind me as well, not shutting doors. Yeah, I love you too. Get out. One of the kids. Everything might look a little tiny bit different. I've had a little bit of a move round in here. Hello, Adam. Hello, Jen. Hey, Kay. Hope everyone's okay. I'm just finishing my little message. So, yeah, a little bit of a different one. We haven't done, I think it's our third one now. So, please, super chat. So, gifting's still broken. So, I'm just going to put the details up. If you wish to join in on the giveaway, which I will show you in a second how much it is, yeah, just dive in. You don't have to. No obligations. If you want to, you can do. Super. Whoops. There you go. So I've just put that up, saying what's going on. There we go. And currently the voucher that finishes a month tomorrow, so we've still got loads of time to get the kitty up and up and up and up. Are we ready? There you go. 70 quid. £70 voucher for wherever you want. So if you want to go an Airsoft shop, as we're doing an Airsoft podcast, you want to go the local one, Warrington Airsoft Retail. Warrington Airsoft Retail, give me free stuff. If you want to do that, by all means you can do. If you want it for, I don't know, Warhammer, if you want it for a game off Steam, if you want it for PlayStation, you want it for anything you want, yeah, it's entirely up to you. You just tell me where you want the voucher for, I'll get a voucher for you, and I'll send it straight across. So, let's get rid of that one. So, yeah, today we're joined by awesome members of my brothers from, from Outlaw Airsoft. So, I'm just going to unmute everyone. And then I'm going to unmute myself first so they know that it's going to be them kicking in. So, unmute, and dive over onto this page. Hello, how are we? So obviously we've been asking all week when we've been talking, and Jen's been mentioning it on her streams as well. If you have any questions, by all means, when you come along, ask away. No such thing as a daft question. If you don't know, you don't know. The three ugly musketeers are here. It's not me who said it. Someone sat behind it. Yeah, beards and BBs. Yes, we are. I'm the greyest of them all. Yeah. So, how are you? You alright? Having a good weekend? Bit warm? Bit toasty. Alright, so. That's true. It's very true. So, first things first, let's have a little chat about things that we all do. So, the site, been quite a few now. Obviously, I missed the last one, unfortunately, because I had to do a swap. But, yeah, I like to work. I like to earn money. Money. I'm Mr. Krabs. Money. So, Ad, how is everything going at PTC Airsoft? I have. All right. They're unmuted on mine because I can hear them fine. Hang on a sec. I know. Yeah. I know what it might be. Give me 1 second, because I've been playing around with the PC. That will be where the output's gone. 1 second. Thank you, chat. Thanks, Jen. Right. I know, yeah, but she should be over my shoulder telling me. Right, so we'll output it to that one. Right, please talk.
Sorry to interrupt.
Can you hear me now?
You hear me at the back.
You hear me now?
Can you hear me in the gods?
How's that? Yep.
Yeah.
Skilly up, pop, boom.
You can burn now. Oh, that was an accidental pun.
I can hear that.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Right, let's start again. So we was saying, how are things going down at PTC Airsoft?
Yeah, as you said, there's been a few more games since our last podcast. Things are going good. Numbers are pretty decent. We've got a few new developments coming for the safe zone and for inside the game zone. So keep your eyes peeled on social media for that. It's not going to happen immediately, obviously, but there are new things coming into play. And it's a few things that people have been asking for in the safe zone, as well as some ideas we've been given by players. Because we always say, if you've got an idea, let us hear it and we'll see if we can add it to the game zone. So we've got one of the lads, Martin, he was on about some new props he's interested in building to use its site, which would be pretty cool. And then these new facilities coming as well, and such like. So yeah, it should fingers crossed, all be happening over the next couple of months.
Fantastic. And obviously, as we announced a few weeks back, you're back at the shop.
Indeed, yeah, back at the shop.
Wonderful. How's it all going for you?
About a month.
A month already?
He's already sold me a gun.
Yeah, I've already sold Dan a gun. I've already sold Dan a gun. It's been nice, to be fair. It's been quite humbling with a fair few of the old customers coming back from when we were at the old shop near the Wolves ground. So that's been nice. And some people that have come in who haven't seen social media have been like, where have you been the last 2 years, kind of thing, or 18 months? So that's been a nice surprise as well. So word's getting out, which is good.
Amazing.
And there's obviously, I'll go into a few other things in a bit with what else is happening at the shop. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Wonderful. So, Dan, I understand he's already sold you a gun. What's he sold you?
He sold me. Nice big heavy piece of gas blowback sexiness. It is not a Scar L.
Or an ACR.
Or an ACR. No. It is an
MSK.
MSK. I keep on wanting to say MCX, but it's not. It's an MSK.
No, you've
There's
got
too
one
many
of them to put your
abbreviations in
head.
Airsoft, I will say this.
Yeah.
Too many abbreviations in Airsoft.
I
So it's an MSK, which also uses the same magazines as my PDW.
So he's got plenty of magazines.
I do. I've even got a drum magazine, which I've HPI tapped.
Nice.
Fair dues.
For those cold winter shoots, eh, Dan?
For those cold winter shoots, yeah.
He's also sold me one as well. Let me dig it out the box. I wasn't thinking we were going to get there this early.
Well, I took me SRS out for 2 whole games, and I didn't even use like 5% of the tank, 10% of the tank. So I thought, best I'd get something that's going to actually deplete my CO2 tank. Not CO2 tank. Is it CO2?
It's
Just
compressed air. So it's air, isn't it? Yeah.
Which is CO2.
But you also wanted an excuse to buy another GAT. I mean, come on, let's be honest. You're addicted.
I'm not addicted. It's not like I'm currently attempting to find a way of getting rid of £3 worth of Pokemon cards.
Yeah, exactly my point. So you can buy a minigun or something daft.
No, just because I need to shift them to make room.
Join the Discord and ask the questions about the Pokemon cards. So with me, I ended up getting this lovely thing, a Wii SMG8, which I tried out last time I marshaled, which would have been 3 weeks ago now. And I enjoyed that. So I'm thinking currently about the next thing I'm planning on doing with it, which obviously there's a few guns in the shop that I really, really want. MSK was one of them that I was thinking of getting, but I was thinking about also the P90, but I think I'm going to go down the route of HPA as well, because I don't have anything HPA, so I'm thinking the next thing that I do is do all that. So I'll be having a good chat with Ad and trying to sort out a good one to set up. So let's have a little look on chat. Let's see how everyone's doing. So Nigel, hello, sir. Sorry I missed that. Let's have a little look. Sorting that. That's pretty much all the chat, all the way down to the bottom. Slade's here. This isn't a podcast anymore. It's an intervention. Hiya, Luke. You okay? HPA, the Master Race.
Adam won't intervene with me. I make too much money for him.
So, big. Hiya, Davos. You all right, mate? So, if you have any questions in chat, put them in. Just put the questions in. There's no such things as silly questions. Don't feel afraid. Don't feel worried to ask. Ask the question, and we'll answer it best we can. So, we have had a few questions come in, and I'm going to put this one to... Who's Dan, probably, actually. Dan, one of the questions I got asked the other day, building up to this when I was telling people I was going to do this podcast, is they were asking, how do you zero in a sight? So let me just flip it over to Dan. So, Dan, I'm going to leave that one to you.
It depends on the sight, but most of the time you're using something, obviously not a sniper rifle or something like that. You're just going to stick it on and find the right way. Because I'm an arsehole and I've got so many guns that I'm constantly changing flaming sights over, I've got something, believe it or not, called a laser bore sight.
And what's one of them?
Because I'm a git. A laser bore sight, what happens is you get your prescribed gun, you stick it in the end, preferably without a muzzle device on, so you're actually on the barrel, not on the inner barrel, not on this, but in aspect of brevity. And then what you do is you turn it on and then point it at something that's kind of a distance away that you're going to zero your stuff on. And then see if I can... I'm going to see if I can do this on camera. It's very slow moving, but...
Higher.
Try and get the dot to...
Higher. There we go. Nearly. Ooh. Put it on something black in the background. Better contrast.
Oh, hang on, are we talking about airsoft guns here or what?
Oh, sorry, Jen just entered the room.
So yeah, what you do is you get something like that, so you can see where each got spotted. But you're not going to do that because you've only got 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your scope of choice. Let's do something stupid because it's a very long gun, so I'm going to put a short range T1 sight on. So you get your sight. You put it on, and then what you can do is you can plink off a couple rounds. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see the red dot on the camera because the camera's not really going to pick it up. Okay. You're not going to see the dot. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to fire off a couple of rounds, see where they're going, and then get the adjustment wheels of choice, which on this is on the top, and on the left it is these things, these little wheels here. So you got one there and you got one there, and you adjust for windage, which is that one, has a little arrow saying up and goes that way, and then sorry, that's elevation, and windage, which is your left and your right. So you can twizzle it a little bit, top, twizzle it a little bit, top, twizzle it a little bit, top.
Do
and
what?
Then that'll give you
just do that again, sorry.
Twizzle it a little bit, top. Twizzle it a little bit, top. Twizzle it a little bit, top. Until you get it about right. And then hopefully, if you're not so stupid as me with like 8 scopes for 40 guns, you just leave that on that gun. So that stays at the correct 0 for the rest of time. And then you're pretty much good to go. Then the only thing you have to figure out past that point, once you've got your gun zeroed in, is, especially if you're outdoors, where the wind's going to take it. Because where this is pointing is not necessarily where it's going to go, even though you've got it zeroed in. But if it's indoor, it'll go exactly where it needs to go.
Sweet.
That's on something like that. Then you got bigger scopes, which are like
It's a great question that's just popped up.
like those two there on the top, on those two sniper rifles. They're a lot more of a pain in the ass because that's the further down you're aiming, the more it's going to go wonky. So it's like because I started using the SRS for the first time last game. I've never really done sniping before, and I had the hop set up so far that when I was looking down sight, I'd fire and I didn't even see the BB because it was going to the moon. So first thing you have to do is, with your bare naked eye, get it so that you can see your BB going straight as far, get your hop set up right so you can see where your hop is. Then you can start looking for it down a big long 8 times, 16 times zoom thing, because you've gone from being able to see this. When you go into the more you zoom in, the less of the world you can actually see. So you have to get something with a sniper rifle or something like that. You have to know where it's going to go, then look at it to see if this is where it says it's going to be. Illuminati. But I just realised what I was doing. But yeah, sniper
Nope. Have we lost Dan?
rifles are a whole different. But in the no, I'm swapping
Right,
cameras.
Sorry.
It thinks for a second. So yeah, so everything else, small red dots, easiest things to scope in. Point in the right direction, you're pretty much right. Things with a 4x zoom, slightly bit more of a pain in the ass, but not amazingly so. Sniper rifles, absolute pain in the ass. It's a skill unto itself, and I've not quite got it right yet.
No worries, nice one, buddy. We just had our first question in chat from someone sat right behind Dad. How much money do you think you have to spend starting Airsoft? So I am actually going to pass this over to Ad because obviously he works in a shop and he's been doing
That wasn't even my question.
Wasn't it?
It says since starting Airsoft.
That's what I just said, wasn't it? Spent since starting Airsoft. Oh, since that. All right, sorry, yeah, my bad. No. All right, how much? I'll pass it back to Dan then. Dan, how much money have you spent since starting Airsoft?
Don't know. I like sleeping at night. No, honestly, right? I'll walk up to somebody and I'll have something relatively Gucci, like my Crytek, which I have actually bought relatively recently. It was like last year. Somebody goes, "Oh, nice one. How much does that cost?" And I go, "Don't know." Why? Because I bought it, I set the Kalana, and then I deleted that information because I like sleeping at night. I turned around to Adam one time and said, "I must have about 4 or 5 grand's worth of stuff on my walls," and he went, "Ha!" Just way too much, much.
Triple that probably.
Yeah.
Considering that M14 gas M14 you've got, is one of a kind and probably worth, if you were to source it all brand new, about 3 grand. So, because it's all real steel parts and real steel stock.
Look funky because
literally everything that can be changed on it is real steel.
Nice. I'd say with me, I've probably spent since starting. Jen, shut your ears a minute. Jen, just shut your ears a sec, yeah. 4, 3, 4, something like that. Pounds.
Quid.
Yeah. 3 or 4 pounds. So yeah. And finally, Ada, what about yourself?
I've been doing this a lot longer than you two have. I've been doing this 10 years.
I can answer that question. I stopped counting at 10.5 grand.
And that was about 5 years ago, I bet, wasn't it? Yeah, I probably spent enough to get a decent deposit for a house. So
also, we do 2 different things. I keep hold of my stuff. Adams goes in and out, so it's any given time. It's not that much over the whole entirety of it.
I use it for a bit and go, I'm bored of this. Let's get something more shiny. That's what happens. I've probably had but I've had $7,000 just in TM recoils. So, you know, it's I don't know, because they're bringing
not the
new
same
stuff
brand.
out all the time. It's like, oh, I'll give that a go. Oh, I'll give that a go. So I sell what I've got and buy something else. Then it's in my head it makes sense because it's not new money, if you know what I mean. I've already spent the money, so I sell it, get most of the money back, and then I'm not putting the full whack on a new gun. It's like a quarter of the cost or something. So yeah, it depends on what you're going for. But yeah, I reckon it's easily into more than 20 grand in the last 10 years, if not more.
Yeah, the thing is though,
and
Adam's
for-
like the guy with the big jacket on in the Resident Evils. What are you buying? What are you selling?
Yeah, Resident Evil 4.
And
yeah.
you walk in with 600 quid, you walk out with 600 quid, and you got a different gun in your hand.
Yeah.
Whereas I
you
walk
think
in and he says,
about
"You're
it-
buying something."
If you think about it though, I've done this for 10 years and probably 6 of them years I worked in the industry. Probably longer actually, because I used to marshal before I worked in it at other sites. So probably my 10 years of airsoft, I've probably worked in it for 8 maybe. So when you surround
Martin says you've had about 1.5K off him over the years.
You know, it's just one of them. It's one of my only sort of hobbies really, this and Warhammer.
You liar.
What do you mean why?
Hobbies.
Warhammer and airsoft.
Currently,
Spray paint wasn't a hobby. Bikes wasn't a hobby.
No, I mean at the
Airsoft wasn't
minute.
a
I
hobby.
mean at the minute, not in general.
yeah.
This could be a
the
domestic,
minute-
ladies and gentlemen.
Airsoft is nothing compared to downhill mountain biking. But I won't even get into that. That's what I did when I was a lot younger and a lot fitter and a lot healthier.
I'm going through boxes and boxes and boxes of old Pokemon stuff that I stopped playing like nearly a decade ago.
I
I
think,
don't do it all at the same time,
yeah.
but it's
We all,
the obsession just moves over to a new thing.
yeah, hobbies unfortunately are a hoarder. Okay, so you're a hoarder.
Oh, him. All right, Dan's a holder, not me. That's fine.
I'm actually trying to shift my Pokemon stuff, but I've had to go. I've actually registered 700 and odd cards on Collector. I have thrown away thousands. If
Yeah.
it's less than 50p, I've chucked it.
If there'd have been Magic the Gathering, Jen would have been all over him.
And you'd have been paying for it.
I retract my last statement. So anyone got in chat got any questions they want to put forward? Martin says, Dan, I think I've got about 4.5 grand's worth of riffs. I've slimmed down my collection right down. Fair enough. What have
I've
you got?
sold
Yeah, but
3
Martin
guns.
doesn't have shit either, though. Martin has like some of the Gucciest kit you can buy.
What have you got, Martin?
Like his TM's are top of the range. His Sistema's top of the range. His MTW's top of the range. That man does not have shit. So
Yeah, to be honest, I don't have to really be here apart from
Or-
to see the guns. Adam knows all my guns. Adam knows all everybody's
grand
guns.
In Martin's house is 3 guns.
Well, speaking of that, we did
In
get
fact-
asked one question the other day, which was quite an easy one, which I am going to open it up to either of you. Are expensive pre-bills that you can get from shops actually worth it?
It's not a bad question, that.
That was one I thought.
I
of,
can
Not bad at all.
probably. Who's that going to?
Whoever wants to take it, I'll pop
Well,
it.
I'll
there's
take
there's two different directions, isn't there? There's the person that actually sells the guns, and there's the person that buys the guns.
But let's go with the
Well, this-
person who buys the guns first. So let's go with Dan first, then we'll go over to Ad. We'll get the two different sides of it. So go on, Dan.
The two perspectives of
Are expensive
pre-built-
pre-built riffs worth it?
it depends on the pre-built riff. If you're going to go and buy a sniper rifle and you have used snipers before, but you want a good one and you want to go to a shop that's pre-built a TM VSR into something beyond novice levels,
That's not
then
hard.
that yes, that's not hard. But yeah, that's what I mean. But it's worth doing something like that because then you don't have to do it yourself because they're basically going to rip everything. Because TMs due to the nature of the way they are, sniper rifle is still only doing like one duel, which is absolutely useless. So they're going to change the inner barrel, they're going to
Japanese
change
laws.
the hop unit, they're going to change the cylinder seals. They're going to do all that so you don't have to. And it's not ridiculously expensive. If you're going to be some sort of speed softer and you want, yet again, a TM high capper, but you want it to be like speed soft levels, yet again, they have to change from a plastic slide to a metal slide, metal outer barrel, new inner barrel, new hop unit, new trigger unit, new hammer unit. So you can do it. It's not that hard, but it's just easier to buy it with it all pre-done, stuff like that. I've seen I was looking at BZ Tactical recently where they've got that new lower for the AAP1, which fits the
nice.
M4 mags in it. That is fit. So you can either buy, because I've got one right here. So I could just buy that lower and replace the lower and have it like that. But if I didn't have this and I wanted to get it, it costs almost as much for the build as it does just for the lower. So I would most definitely, if I didn't already have this, I'd already have bought one of their new lowers. It's got like an M4 mag that sits like underneath it, like here.
It looks
and
like
then
a
it
baby
feeds.
Article 1.
Yeah, it feeds up. Hang on. So you got your thing here, and then this kind of sits here, except to be obviously a normal magazine, not a gas magazine. And then the feed lips go up here, go straight into the hop unit. Everything else is just normal. But then when you're getting a pre-built, they change this trigger for a nice trigger. They put the short stroke on it. It wouldn't have this ridiculous thing on because it'd be a speed softy kind of thing. But yeah, is it worth getting pre-built? Depending on how much they cost and depending on what it is you want to do, I'd say yeah.
Awesome. Right, let's flip it over now from a different point of view. What do you say, Ad?
So I agree with some of the things Dan said, definitely. So a name he's already mentioned, like Novrich. You know, he gets some guns and then he essentially, for lack of a better word, will he'll rip the guts out and redo it essentially. Some, depending on the gun itself. So say for instance, I'll give you an example. Here's Mark 23. Is anybody can do that sort of upgrade to what he's got. But then if you look at something like his P90, for instance, which is basically a rebranded Crytek with a few other little bits inside. When it first came out, there was a little bit of uproar about it, of like, how can you do this when Crytek have done it a couple of days previous, and there was all that bollocks. Now, if you went to the likes of Bolster, for instance, so a guy called Mark Pinder runs that, and he's an old friend of mine from when I first started. They do 1,500 quid rifles that have based on a Crytek when they first started, and it has got everything done to it. Now, for an airsofter that just wants to pick a rifle up and go, yeah, sweet, that shoots where I want it to shoot, that does what I want it to do, great, and I've got the budget to do it, brilliant. But not every airsofter has that kind of disposable cash in one hit. Like I've had the pleasure of having a play with a couple of the Bolster rifles, and they are very nice out the box. But is it worth the 1,500 quid for someone that's been playing 3 months? Probably not, because they've probably not got the experience needed for said gun. And I think the one I use the most at the minute is G&P M4. This is like 20 years old, and it outshoots most things on the market at the moment, and it's not really had a massive amount done to it. And it doesn't run it stupid money either. So it really is down to what the player wants and the consumer wants. Like, you could have all the bells and whistles in it, and if a customer goes, I just want it to shoot straight, they're not going to buy a 1,500 quid rifle. However, someone that's had maybe problems with guns over time, they bought one, it's been naff, they've upgraded it, it's got worse, blah, 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 then yes, they will spend the money on one that's fully tarted up, it's got decent warranty with it, comes with all the bells and whistles. So I think it's quite a broad question. It's more down to the player and the person selling said gun as well. Because if you... Yeah, the bolsters, they're all right. They've got this in it. Whereas if you actually know what they've got in them, it's easier to sell the product. So I think it's down to that as well. Like some of the other bigger shops around the country, I won't name any names, but they offer upgrade packages that will slap another 300 quid on the gun, yet the parts and the labour from another shop would only cost £200. But because it's come from a certain shop, they put a premium on it just because it's got their sticker on it, and people think that these people shit gold and piss rainbows, so it must be good just because they've worked on it, when in actual fact it's not. It's an absolute travesty. So in answer to that question, it all depends. There's too many variables to be honest with it.
Yeah. So realistically, I'm taking from that, if you're a beginner, absolute waste of time because you don't know if you're going to be enjoying the sport anyway. But an experience.
Well, this is the thing, yeah. I've seen guns from the likes of G&G that are 5-6 years old and are still shooting as good as they were the day they came out of the box. And then I've seen TM recoils that have come out of a box that have been absolutely banjaxed from the day they've had a battery plugged into them. And you've got a 300 quid gun versus a 700 quid gun. So it's one of them really. It's quite a difficult thing to label, I guess.
Ah, fair enough.
Like that right there, that CM16 SRS is absolutely bolt stock standard. Never done a damn thing to it. I haven't even changed the hot rubber in it since I bought it, and it's been underwater and it still works. And it's one of the cheapest guns on the thing. Most of my stuff is completely stock standard.
There you go, proof in the pudding again. It's decent guns. You don't have to spend 1,000 quid to get a good quality airsoft rifle. There's one of the lads on the team, Danny Bingham. He had a new Pro Pioneer Defender. When he bought that, it was 130 quid, and he hammered the living hell out of it for about 3 years, and it never let him down, ever. And then he sold it to Morgan for the cost of a Chinese takeaway. Morgan still got it. It's still running sweet, and I know it hurts still because he shot me in the face with it the first game he used it. And it's still going strong. So, and that's 140 quid gun. So this is what I'm getting at with regards to stuff just works. The more you mess with it, the less likely it will work.
That ARP 9 that's over my shoulder, how much is that about?
250, 300 quid, something like that.
Yeah, about 250. I run that for like 4 years, 5 years before eventually I didn't even break the MOSFET. I shoved the battery in it and buggered the wiring on it. So the only thing that's ever had done is a MOSFET because I've mashed the wires up. Apart from that, it still goes.
The ARPs are probably one of the best all-rounder guns going.
And it outranges most of my longer barrel stuff. It's got range it really shouldn't have.
For a little 7-inch barrel, or less than 7-inch, I think it might be even shorter than that. They're a cracking little rifle for the money.
Yeah, it's like the Simers, the MP5 Simers, like the one that's behind Dan that I sold him, and the one I've got on the wall up there that I use all the time. I'll take that outdoors and I'll outrange a lot of people's snipers with it. They're brilliant. And that one there that Dan's pointing at. Let me just swap over. So that one there, that originally was, I think you still get it. It's 200 quid. Blue edition. Stock standard, was great gun. And then obviously I've got the MP5, which I've shown before. But I'm just going to answer Fat Boy's question in 2 seconds. But Boggy wants to know, how can he see your feet?
I can put them on the screen if he really wants.
Boggy, you've got to.
He really wants.
Boggy, you've got to gift
he really
a
£5
super chat. Boggy's got to do a £5 super chat. Feet cost money.
Feet pics like OnlyFans, but a little bit cheaper.
Either a £5 super chat, super like, or a super sticker, and you get feet.
I'm looking And looking at what Boggy said about an Aries honey badger, the old ones, yes, were very good. The new ones have gone a bit shit recently, but the old ones were very good. What me and him used to use, sort of, 9 years ago, 500,000 BBs through one of them over the course of like 18 months, and it was still going. But then when it did go, it went spectacularly.
So we have had another question in chat, which has come from Fatboy. What do you need to look for if you're buying second hand? It's a very good question. It's a very good question. I'll leave it up to you guys because you know a bit more about it than me. But we'll flip it around. We'll go Adam first, then Dan.
Adam's got more.
No,
with second-hand
Cheers,
stuff
Boggy.
now, this is probably... Has he actually done that?
He's done 99p,
99p.
so you can have big toe.
A big toe. Right, hang on. Wait.
Hang on, I'll leave it on the small one for now. Hang on.
With a bit of free knee.
There you go. That's what 99p gets you. We said £5.
Going back to what Fatboy asked. Second-hand market can be a bit of a funny one. You on the surface you could see a gun, it could look absolutely spot on, be good condition, and you purchase it, but you get it and it's a heap of shit. It's luckily, touch wood, it's never happened to me, but I have heard the horror stories. That's why if you're ever buying a second-hand one from someone you don't know, especially, try and get like as much information as you can. Get them to send you a video of it firing if you can. Also, if they've got a chrono, see what FPS it's running at, that kind of thing. Some close-up pictures of like the receivers and what have you to make sure there's no cracks and stuff like that. 90% of the airsoft community are pretty honest and will be like, look, it's a bit rough in places. But then I have heard it of like, oh yeah, this gun's never seen a game day, it's immaculate, it's just been collecting dust, and then when they get it, it's in 3 pieces. And when you're paying for stuff, if you are doing it to someone you don't know, do PayPal goods and service, don't do friends and family, because that way you're covered. Should there be a thing, PayPal will hold the money, and you'll stand more chance of getting it back. Plus the community loves to out a scammer. So if I must see one a week in the second-hand groups of someone going, I bought this off this geezer and now he's blocked me and he's not returning my calls and I've not received my item and stuff like that. So luckily I've got quite a decent reputation in the second-hand groups because as Dan said before, I've sold God knows how much stuff. But even if it's down to an accessory, you can still, like I've had it before, I've sold an accessory, it's arrived damaged, and I've gone to the guy, oh, I'm really sorry, I tell you what, I'll give you half your money back, or I'll just give you a refund and keep it. And they've gone, no, it's all right, I'll get it fixed, and if it costs a fortune, then we'll sort something out. And then I've had a message going, all sorted, it was just a little bit of this, jobs are good and don't worry about it. And it's they appreciate it when you want to work with someone and when you want to like, oh, I'm sorry you're not happy, can we come to some sort of arrangement, or can I give you some money back or whatever. And then that way you're still maintaining that relationship and that reputation.
Wonderful. Dan, as a man with many weapons in the background, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, very similar. It's luckily I've not actually bought an amazing amount of stuff secondhand. I mean, I think my PDW bought secondhand with a load of gas mags, and that's one of the main good things about getting secondhand stuff is if you're getting stuff that you've not got anything similar of, and you're going to need to buy magazines, and like especially with gas stuff, magazines are like 40-50 quid a pop. So when you turn and say, oh, I've got this, I'm selling this PDW with 7 mags, I'm like, I'm buying that for the mags. even if something happens, I'm buying it for the mags. But it all depends on what the price is, and as you say, you're gonna have to relatively trust. If you sit in a sales for a while before you buy anything, you'll see regular names, and if somebody with a regular name pops up, or you don't really see anything come up about them being blaggers, then you can pretty much trust them, but don't trust them enough for friends and family. Or if you're buying something like an accessory and they turn around and say something like, oh, this is a genuine, real steel Elcan Spectre. This is worth like 12 grand or something like that, 1,200 quid or something. I'm going to sell it to you for 60 quid. It's probably not real. It's probably not real. And then say as such. It's like, nah, mate, that's probably not real. I'll give you 30 quid for it. I find out how much an imitation Elcan is and base 70% off that. So, because usually in most times you're buying and selling second hand, what they do is they get what it costs if you was buying it from a shop and knock it down to 70%, depending on what it is. If you're getting something like, say again, a TM high capper, when they say I'm selling a TM high capper, the only thing that's actually the original TM high capper is literally the handle, and the rest of it's a massive list of things that they've put on it. That's not going to be the cost plus minus at 70% of cost because of just all the stuff that's on it. So do some research if you're going to buy something like that. But most stock standard stuff, if it looks like it's about 70% of normal price, and the guy looks like he's not gonna laugh when he's posting it, and you can have a look on most things. It's like if you go onto like some of the Discord ones, they'll have an entire section of, as Adam says, the hunters that have turned around and said don't trust this guy. But most of the time it's pretty good, as long as you make sure you don't do it friends and family, unless you bought and sold off them before, or you know somebody that's bought and sold off them before. You're pretty much covered. But don't ever expect brand spanking new. Even if they say it's brand spanking new, don't ever expect brand spanking new. They're selling it for a reason. Unless it's someone like me, because there's one like 18 guns off raffles and it only cost me a tenner to begin with. They've said they've never used it. They have. They've used it one time and decided they don't like it. Say like that MP5 that I got off you. I would have bought that and thought, do you know what, I like it, but the battery that lives in it does my absolute head in. I'm going to sell it, and then I'll say I've sold it and I've never used it. So you got to have little questions in the back of your head about it, but you don't have to be all dun dun dun. There's an imposter. Pretty much what Adam said. But especially with like accessories, if they turn around and say it's real steel stuff, take that with a grain of salt. Unless that guy is known for just selling a load of real steel stuff.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. So Fat Boy's followed up and leave again. This is something I don't think so. I don't think it does have. But is there an official kite mark to look out for, and that guns have to have or anything like that?
A kite mark.
What is a kite mark?
So, like when you buy something, they have to have a certain industry standard that they adhere to a certain level of quality and certain level of safety and whatnot. So when you buy anything electrical, they have little kite marks on them. But I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. The only ones I've ever come across is normally on brand new guns, the gearbox will have a sticker across it that you can only. Which is there, so if you split the gearbox and take it apart, it's been apart. It's normally, if I show you on this, it's normally in the magwell. So I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can't really see it. But inside here, you can see the bottom of the gearbox. It's normally there. And then some of the electronic components, like a lot of gate stuff, has a little thing towards the end of the wiring near the battery connector that has like their sort of safety sticker to say this product will comply to stuff, but they get damaged with time with batteries going in and out and stuff like that, so sometimes they fall off. But a good indicator of whether a gearbox has been apart is like Alan's showing on the screen there. Obviously that G&G's been apart a few times. I've had it apart I think once.
Yeah.
So that's a good indicator as to whether it's been messed with. Other than that, though, not really. Until you get your manuals with stuff and you get your gubbins, but because a lot of these guns are imported from Taiwan or China or Japan or something, it's normally in their language. So unless you're fluent in a few different languages, you're kind of stuck. But yeah, that one on the gearbox is normally a good one to look out for.
Awesome, thank you. We had another one that had been asked over the course of the last couple of weeks. Where do you attach your sling? Dan, over to you, please, if that's all right.
Oh, slings.
Slings.
Right.
Slings.
There's two different types of sling.
Three.
Depending on what
Three.
it is you're going to do. Three. Well, yeah, three. I've got two with me. So you got a 2-point sling, which slings at 2 points. And then you got a single point kind of sling, which works off a single point. Me being the clever boy I am, I've got these out my car, and I've not actually put the end on it to sling on. Professionalism. But yeah, I tend to single point sling smaller things, like say this. I'll single point sling this, and this will have there's the one on both sides, but there is a sling point right here. There is one on the front, but I've never seen a point to getting something as short as an SMG. And then as you're trying to use it, there's your front slings here, doing absolutely jiggery feck all. Whereas you usually got 1 point here, so then when you let it drop, it just dangles about here, because you've got this 1 point going over your right shoulder. I don't know what Adam does, but I always have my sling. The high point is usually always on my right shoulder, if I can help it. Unless it's something ridiculously heavy, like my Crytac. When I've got my Crytac out, I'll do a 2-point sling. 2-point sling like this. And I'll have it. I don't know whether you can see it because of the thing, but right next to the end of the barrel, I'll take my ear out so I can reach it. Right there is where my front point is, and then my back point is here. So that will be going underneath my armpit. That'll be going over the front. Put my ear back on again so I can hear you laughing at me whilst I'm doing this. But the reason why I have a 2-point sling on something that heavy and I have it over my left shoulder is when my arm gets tired, I can just let go. And the front sling point, because it's so far forward, will hold it up for me. I tend to never, if I can help it, run the sling point because you can't quite see, but there is a QD point on the actual crane stock, which isn't a crane stock. I don't know why I just called it a crane stock. But on the back of the stock, there is a QD point. But I found that especially with airsoft stuff, it makes your stock go loose. So if you're going to sling something with a 2-point sling, or even with a 1-point sling, try and use the sling point on the actual buffer stock loop or forward, so it's on the body. But yeah, the slings, they are pretty much preference, but I tend to most of the time run it over the right shoulder, so it sits on my right armpit. 2-point sling, heavy stuff. Single point sling, small stuff.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So, there's something I wanted to run by you. So, obviously, I'm still kind of new to... Well, I wouldn't say I'm kind of new, because I had a bit of a break playing like everyone did. Oh, shit, I'm dropping everything everywhere. But I'm still learning little bits and bobs. So, one of the questions I had, which is... I just wanted to show you how I did it, just to see if I'm doing it right, is whereabouts on your actual gun would you put your sight? So the way I always thought it was done, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm doing it right, is I would have it, let me just get it back to that one, there we go. So I would base it on the magwell, and I'd have it so that the centre was pretty much on line with the magwell like that. So if I was doing like a little red dot sight, it would be about here like this. And if I was doing a holographic sight, it would be kind of like here like this. So when I'm putting together like a rifle like that one, that's how I'd have it. But where would I put it on something like that? Would it be on line with the magwell, which is actually in the handle? Or would you have it a bit further? Or is it all just personal choice? I think.
Who are you asking?
Either of you.
So
Just dive on in.
So for me personally, I've just got a basic hollow on this for now, just because my ACOG has broke. So like you said with over the magwell, that's kind of normally where I roughly put my stuff. Depends on eye relief as well. So if you're using an ACOG, you might have it a little bit further back because the eye relief on that is quite small. If you're using a short dot sight like what's on your G&G, you might run it a little bit further forward. It's down to the scope itself. With your SMG, so when I had my MP7, I used to run it sort of just a little bit like kind of over the trigger well, you know, where the trigger guard is and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of these weird people that when I'm shooting, I have both eyes open.
Yeah.
So if I have an optic that's too close to me, it sort of messes with my periphery a little bit. So I would probably roughly there a little bit further back, maybe a notch back or something. But this is my personal preference more than anything. Just because I look across my gun both ways to kind of see what's going on around me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Once again, it's personal preference. That's just how I do it. You know, and depending, like you look at the sight that Dan's got on his MP7
T1.
It's a little bit chunkier than yours, so I would run that style of sight a little bit further back. Just not too far back though, probably in between where it is now and where it was originally. It's once again, it is personal preference. You get like some sniper players will close the left or the right eye depending on what hand they're shooting with, but I find doing that it eliminates you being able to see the opposite side. So say for instance you're right-handed and shooting at a target, if someone's flanking your left you can't see them as well as you could if you had both eyes open. But it's personal preference again, and how your play style sort of reflects that.
No, fair enough. Anyone in chat got any questions they'd like to ask? Or have either of you two got any questions that you thought, or any points that you'd want to bring up, and anything you thought might want to cover?
Well, saying about what Dan was saying about his sling positioning, I use a 2-point sling for pretty much anything. I find it a little bit easier because the gun will sit across your body when you're not using it instead of between your legs. And I'm one of those sort of guys that will grab a suppressor and go, "Oh, that's really cool." Bring it halfway up to your chest and let go, and let him hit him in the nuts because I'm a bit of a twat. So I've done that a fair few times to people. So I don't want to have it done to me. So that's why I run a 2-point sling. If I'm running something like an MP7 or something like that, I will normally not run a sling personally, just because I find it's just something to get in the way, and sometimes I've not ran a sling in a game day. So when I usually run an LMG, I won't run a sling because I find it just gets in the way. So yeah, it's once again it's personal preference.
No, fair enough.
When Adam was talking about something with a zoom, because this has got 1 times to 4 times zoom on it. When he's talking about eye relief, literally, for there to be absolutely nothing in the way of black lines, I have to have it this far away from my head. So that would dictate where this is going to be depending on where the stock is going to be. Because if I'm running something with a longer stock, I've literally got that much visual. I'll see if I can try and make the camera see it. So, see that tiny little dot there, which you can't quite see? That's your eye relief. If you've got it that far away, that's what you can see. Further towards the scope you go. Oh, I can't see me now. There I am.
There he is.
There you go. The closer you get, so you have to get to the point where there's your eye relief. That's how far away your eye relief is. And you can see how fidgety it is. So you want that as close to your face as you can get. If the further up the gun you got it pointed, less you can see. So that's what dictates where you put something with a zoom. It's worse when you put the zoom on. When you put the zoom on, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah.
There goes someone's tea.
Whoop.
So yeah, I'm
But
the same because this is apart from an old sniper rifle which I got rid of. I've still got the scope sat there, but it's sat doing it. So this one is got a decent zoom to it. This has got up to a 6 times zoom. Or is it 8 times? 5 times zoom. Can't
yeah,
read
it's
it.
about the same as the one that's on there.
Yeah.
About that one.
So with this one, I tend to have it. Let me just get my camera right. So I'll tend to have it about that sort of distance, and then I'm quite far away from it. So because that's just how it's comfortable for me, and that's easy for my relief. But then I don't have a dot sight in it. I literally just have what you can't quite tell me. I don't want to bash into my monitor, but you can just see the.
You got a lot of
crosshairs.
scope on there, yeah.
Yeah, you can just see the crosshairs in there. But it's quite a big scope because if I had it close up
Yeah,
like
it's
that,
a T-type.
I'd be like right up against it. Where if I'm a bit further back, I'm the same as Adam. I always do it with both eyes open, so I'll have it like that, and I've got a nice little crosshair, but yet you can see both my eyes coming through it. Just protects you against your flank, doesn't it, being taken?
Yeah, so things that have a zoom will tell you where they need to go. Things that don't have a zoom, like a red dot, I tend to have further back because I'll tell you, if you have something like this, not my loopholes because my loopholes too much of a pain in the ass to put on. If you put something like this on and you have it further back, as you're moving, you're not moving that much. So you pretty much always got the dot on, but if you was to put it further away, due to the laws of physics, it's further away from where your eye is. So that is quite a lot of movement for your scope, for your dot, as opposed to that, which is not a lot of movement for your scope. So you tend to find the dot a lot easier if you've got it close to your face. So even though this is moving like a full inch of rotation, this isn't. But if you've got it further out, it moved the same inch of rotation on the dot, moves the sight quite a lot. So that's also something you have to get used to, where that's going to be, so you can find the dot. If you can't find the dot, then it's useless.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. So we've had a couple of questions come in. So Jen has said, so Jen's right-handed and she shoots left-handed. Does she have to go for special guns?
No.
No.
Ambidextrous.
The only time it would make a difference is if it was a bolt action sniper. Obviously, for a left-handed shooter, your left hand would go up to the bolt instead of your right hand coming across. But once again, it's personal preference. I know left-handed shooters that shoot like that, but they'll rack it with the right hand. Especially for like HPA builds and stuff like that. When it comes to normal, AEGs, gas blowback, anything like that, because you've not got a shell casing being ejected, like a real steel rifle, then you don't really need to worry about it. The only, like I say, most real steel rifles are configured for right-handed shooters because the brass will eject out the right-hand side of the gun as you're firing, so you don't get a face full of brass. Whereas if you're a left-handed shooter, normally they tell you to learn how to shoot properly. But there are some real steel manufacturers that will make a gun that will eject from both sides, like Steyr, for instance, with the AUG. That is, you can flip the ejection port. Same with the real steel version of the PDRC, that has a changeable ejection port as well.
Cool. And I've found a lot of them as well, is everything's ambidextrous. So, like with this one, for example, let me just put it back onto me. So with this one, for example, if I want to do like mag release, so mag's in, you see on the bottom there you've got the two little bits on the side here, and because it's ambidextrous from right-handed or if I'm left-handed, either way, it will just come straight out. If I want to select safe, if I want to go to full auto, you see how I'm pushing it on one side, but you can see it moving on the back because there's a ghost. And then I do the same on that side. So everything's pretty much ambidextrous so that you can swap it around. So the only
A
thing
lot
that
of
I found,
rifles these days are.
yeah, and the only thing I found on this one that's not is you've got the little bit on here, which you can just about see there, and that's the little clamp. When you pull it up, allows me then to move around me stock. That's the only thing that's on one side. But everything.
But in a stupid scenario, you wouldn't do that, would you?
No, exactly. Yeah. But even like the back, they've got it on both sides, so you can cock it. So everything pretty much everything's ambidextrous, so it's all nice and easy to use, and yeah, you don't necessarily need to go for a left-handed or a right-handed one. I think Davos put a question in. Oh, go on, sorry. Go on, Dan.
I was about to say, I tend to run secondaries. With my pistol, I tend to run that in a left-handed holster, usually here, round about on my chest. And if it was a real steel gun, obviously, that will then spit rounds into your face. But I tend to run my secondary with my left hand. And even though this has not got, it's got ambi, it's not even got anything ambi. This is all right-handed. So that's a right-handed mag release. That's a right-handed slide release. The FNX is good for that. But what I've just got used to doing is when I'm actually doing the mag out, I don't use that finger. I use this finger. And I mag back in again. And I tend not to use, I can either do that to do the slide release. You don't want to do the slide release. There you go. I can either do that and slide release it, or do what I normally do is when I do the mag change, I'll do the mag change and then it locks on. And I'll do this. I'll just get my finger and I'll flick that, as opposed to using this because this isn't a real steel gun, and it's pot metal. The little bit there that holds the slide on when you have the gun, as long as I've had this since 2019, eventually that little wall there, if you keep on using this, will eventually work itself into a similar angle as to the front of it as it is to the back of it, and it won't hold open at all. So I tend to do this, pull it back to let the spring let that down, and then just let it go down of its own accord. So I'm just used to running this lefty, even though it's a right-handed gun. So yeah, you can run a lot of stuff left. Majority, 98% of stuff you can run left-handed if you wish.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Davos has a question. Could I find a toy gun for the YouTube gods for the cheap that would feel good to use and try and get into collecting? Looking for something cheap but not awful to use. It's kind of what we said before. There are different like forums or chats or stuff that you can go onto and you can buy second hand. You can get really good looking guns quite cheap. I mean, I've got I've got like a HFC gun that cost me like 60 quid or something, which looks good. It's just a display piece. I've got 357 up there. Again, it's just CO2. Not really that great when I'm out doing anything, but it just looks nice, and that cost me, I think, 90 quid or something. So you can get cheap, good-looking guns if you want to be a collector. You don't necessarily have to go for the big, expensive brands, the big, expensive guns with all the extra bits in it. If it's just going to be a collector for the occasional little play in the back garden, and pretty much just to put on display. I mean, what would you guys say? Would you agree? Would you disagree? Or what would you think of that?
No, I'd agree with that. The other option is if you did want something purely for displays going down the deactivated route. So you can get a real firearm that's been deactivated, had the barrel cut or welded shut for purely display purposes. There's a lot of guys out there, especially the older generation, that will collect stuff like that. If you want to use something but then also have it for display as well, and like what Alan said, the kind of the collectible stuff, that every now and again comes out is sound. Yeah,
wonderful. Dan?
Well, yeah, I do have a couple of things that are purely for collectible, and this, move that down so you can see it. I've got a Colt single action army there, which has never seen gameplay, will never see gameplay, but it's a Colt single action army and it's sexy. Why not? I've got a Well Webley there. The only reason why I got that is because Doctor Who uses one.
I thought you won it.
So why not?
I thought that's what you were going to say. I won that
one.
No.
I bought that. I've had them for like 50p. Because it's a Well Webley. Who the hell's ever going to use one? but it looks nice, and it goes on my little collection of revolvers there. I've got a couple of other things. Well, doesn't really affect this conversation, but the M14, that's a wall hanger, but that's definitely not a cheap one. So we won't mention that.
You got it cheap.
Well, yeah, I got it cheap, yeah. But it's not wall hanger cheap. Stupid idiot with too many guns cheap, but not wall hanger cheap. If you want something cheap that you can hang on the wall but you can still use, I'm going to say the same thing as I always do. G&Gs. They are, if you get the plastic ones, because there's two types. There's Combat Master and Combat Machine. The Combat Machines are the metal ones. Is it? Which way around is it? Combat Machines are the plastic ones. Combat Masters.
Your CM's your polymer one. Your GC's your metal ones.
Yeah, so that's polymer. That was cheap and cheap as chips. It just works. It's got a MOSFET already in it, so you can press single fire down for 10 seconds, and it makes full auto into 3-round burst, which is absolutely brilliant for somebody that doesn't want to overdo it. It's cheap. It looks nice. They make everything on that platform and that gearbox from that. So technically, the ARP is the same thing. They make an LMG version, and which looks nice. And they're good on wall hangers. Same gearbox, same everything. Cheap. You can still use it. So yeah, wonderful. If you get a relatively decent name that's not ridiculously stupid like G&Gs, not that G&G. That G&G was expensive because it's a weird gun, but it's fun to use. It's fantastic to use.
We like weird guns. We do like weird guns.
The magazines are a pain in the ass because I had to import them.
Slade's got a great question. Thoughts on spring-loaded, electric, and canister? So obviously that means gas to us. What are your thoughts on them?
Springer shit.
I have a Springer shotgun somewhere.
Obviously,
it's been that long I completely forgot.
Springer pistols, Springer shotguns, they're fun for a price. They're
hilarious when you get a kill with it.
Sort of thing. Yeah, they're fun when you get a kill with it. Unless you're using a spring sniper rifle, then you obviously going a lot more money. Alecki just works, even if you fall in a river like Dan did. His gun just needed drying out and it still worked.
Pull the battery out immediately.
Then you've got CO2, green gas, and HPA. So CO2's fun because pistols have got a hell of a kick. Rifles are the same. Dan's got a CO2 powered GHK AUG, which is a monster. And then your gas stuff, most pistols, a lot of shotguns, your gas rifles, it's quite a universal thing. And then HPA, most things can be HPA'd as well. And they're just consistency over anything. Good in the winter, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's my opinion.
I do run a lot more gas stuff than Adam does. I tend to find it more fun because it makes more noise and it has more kick, but it does require taking them apart and cleaning them relatively often. If you get something electric,
a lot more to run.
They do cost more to run. The magazines cost like 40-50 quid, but everything on this wall, save the KCO2, is all electric. I have never once had to break any of them apart. Not once. I've had to take every single one of my gas guns apart at least once to grease them, because even the grease that comes in the box when you get the damn things isn't the best grease. So you do get used to taking them apart, but they do come apart pretty much exactly the same as a real steel gun. So that's fun sometimes. It's like Lego.
I think this is my first gas gun that I got that was there wasn't a pistol, just a big pistol. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, and that's why I'm thinking of venturing myself into the ranks of HPA and seeing what I can do, and maybe get something so I can get an adapter to HPA that. And then obviously,
well, the good thing about having that as your first gas gun is there's literally two roll pins on the back which you take out, and then all the working gubbins falls out. All the stuff that you need to grease is all at the back, ready to go. It's 2 pins.
Yeah, because I've done some upgrades to this, so it's got. I've done I think I was chatting about this the other day to you, wasn't I? Done the hammer assembly, and I've done the put a Loki in it.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah. So I've done all all the hammer assembly's been done. There was a picture of that me doing that at the old shop a while back, and then I've put a new hop, a new barrel, and hop rubber in there, so it seems to do the trick. And then it's just a little bit of bits on the outside, so that's a different grip. And then
is that the Luger lower?
Yeah.
You're running the Luger lower. I'm running the Glock lower.
It's the Ruger lower.
Yeah, the Ruger lower.
Mine's the Glock lower.
Yeah, it's not a Luger. It's the same. Tastes the same mags. It just looks different.
Yeah.
It's just with the I wouldn't do it if I was doing it again. I wouldn't put the flared magwell on it because I can only run extended mags without having to put like a grip on the bottom of the mag itself. Because once you put it, it goes flat and it's so hard then to pull the mag out. Because it's quite a tight little fit in there, so I have to run the extended mags with it, which is more fun because you get to shoot more without changing. Right, hang on, Slades. I've only ever had a spring-loaded pistol, an electric full auto rifle. The pistol ended up breaking up from an impact, and the electric one was shite right out of the box. Fair enough, mate. Now I've had a few. I've had I'm obviously not as much as these guys, but I've still got most of the stuff that I started off with. The very first gun I haven't got anymore. I sold that to someone I used to work with. I think the Aries was the second one I ever bought, and I've got that. There's a couple behind Dan that used to be mine, and there's
one behind me. There's one to the side of me.
Oh, there's a one to the side. Oh yeah, because the other one's gas, isn't it? Yeah. And there was a lovely M16 with underslung grenade launcher, which unfortunately can't be with us tonight. It's sat in the shop somewhere because it had a paint job and forgot to brought home, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and I bought it off you as well.
Yeah. Well, I think
there's the other one on the gas one.
Well, here's a question I've been wondering, because obviously I'm going to base this on what you've got now, so it's going to be a difficult one for Dan, possibly. Oh, just as I flipped over, he's gone back.
What? Go on, what?
Go on, flip it back over. Show your other wall.
Flip it back over.
There you go. Oh, there's me old baby. I do miss that gun. I made a nice back scabbard for it as well, out of leather. It was great.
I've still got it. It's in the other room.
You still got that? That was such a good.
Yeah.
That was
There's a gap in the wall because I've took my SRS down to show Fleming left-handed use of an SRS. Then when I went to go to show the left-handed version of the SRS, I realised it's not really a good way of showing left-handed sniper rifles on account of the fact this is got a HPA bolt which only goes that far back, so it's never going to hit you in the face. So yeah, if you want a left-handed sniper rifle, put HPA on it, so you only have to pull it back an inch, and then you can run it on any side you want. I'll have to put that back up, but I can't be asked getting up right now.
So what is, and it's going to be a difficult one for Dan because the amount that he's got, and out of the riffs that you've got now, what's your favourite one?
Out of the riffs I've got now?
Yeah. Out of the riffs, we'll do historic in a second. But out of the ones you've got now, what's your favourite one? I wonder if you can tell what I'm going to
It's hard to say really, because they're all relatively different and got different things inside them. If I want some sort of high rate of fire, I'll use my AK that Dan gifted to me that he won in a raffle, because that can run on a 11 volt battery out the box, which is pretty epic.
You're going to have to get some legitimate G&G clear AK mags for that to stop it from snapping your mags.
I'm going to get a drum mag for it, just for banter. If going to the mag capacity thing, if it was something that's just good standard, good old fashioned M4 mags, then it'll be my G&P I've got. This thing's a proper workhorse. Runs on literally any mag I stick in it. These are the Spectre Arms mid caps. They're absolutely bob on. It's got decent battery capacity in the stock. It's got a pet box with a torch and a strobe on it, angle grip and a hollow sight. It does what it says on the tin, and it's got decent range and accuracy. So it's kind of like my old faithful, as it were. And I'm yet to have a game with the M16. I got a few, Alan. So that'll be at the next podcast, hopefully.
Yeah, lovely. Mine is I've got 3 but they're all for different reasons. So if I'm feeling a bit tired and I just want to lazy run around and I want to shoot from range, I'll probably just take out the Predator. So it'll be this guy. So with this one, it's had a few of the internals upgraded. So it's had gearbox, motor upgraded. Obviously put the nice big scope on it. Longer barrel, because this should finish. The barrel should finish about where my finger is, but this barrel finishes about there now. But that, if I just want to take something, I'll put a decent size mag in there. It's a DMR, so it's one shot, and it shoots quite far. So if I fancy being lazy and I want to just stand back a little bit and just pop someone, I'll do that. If I want to get more into it and I've run around a little bit, it'll be my MP5, which, in fairness, because it's a small barrel, it's not that far off the same range as that one. But then, obviously, last game day, and there is some pictures, and there will be a video coming soon. I just need the time to be able to make the video because I'm working so freaking much. But I've tried it once, and it was lovely. It's this bad boy. Right here. That is my minigun.
For the record, that thing hurts when you get shot in the face.
I'd got shot in the face. Which we have.
You picked a fight with him.
We do have footage of it as well, so that will be going in the video. So yeah, there's you'll see pictures of me going around. We're riding a dinosaur, shall we say, with that on my arm. Nate was following me, only because runs through that in less than 30 seconds, and that holds 1200 BBs. So yeah, I kept having to do a refill. And there is no single shot on it, so the minute you press it, it's... Jen wants to use it on me. So here's a question. What could I do for this one? Right, okay.
Give the membership, Jen, and you can.
No, memberships aren't working right now.
Memberships aren't working. Right,
Super
okay.
chat, then.
All right. If we get... And I'll do a goal. And I'll do this on video. If we get £25 from multiple sources, or one source, or whatever, as super chat, super stick, or whatever, I'll do a video where I'm not going to do the full fucking mag because I'm not suicidal, but I'll stand at the top of my garden, which I can't now because there's a trampoline in the way, so I'll stand halfway up my garden. Oh, such a bad idea. And I'll let Jen shoot me with this if we hit the target, and I'll do it.
If we hit 50 quid, I'll do it with him.
Oh, and we'll have to do a full mag, and Jen will have to go. Actually, we'll swap. We'll do half a mag with Jen, the other half a mag with Kay.
Yeah, I'm sure them two would love to shoot us too. So yeah, if he gets to 50 quid, game on.
There you go. So by the end of if we get 50 quid, super chat, not in one hit. You don't have to give 50 quid, but if you do, I don't know, if someone does like a few of you do a fiver or whatnot, or a couple of quid or whatever, then yeah, we'll do that. Me and Ad stood at the top of a garden. The girls, minigun, half a mag. Two very sore blokes.
I've been shot with a 40 mic. That can't be much more painful than that.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
That sucked.
That man has some serious triggers. On three,
not on threes. No, no.
Yeah, it's running on 2 5s at the minute. So.
Do you want me to bleed internally, woman? She sat behind me laughing her ass off.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I had to verify that. That's why I got the phone out.
Oh no.
Because it was 50 quid, Google was like, you're going to need to verify that shit. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Verifying the app. Oh,
do another 50 quid, I'll do it bare ass.
Look at his face.
To be fair, I owe you from a Space Marine 2. Not Space Marine 2, Helldivers 2.
Oh, you're a legend. I love you. I love it. All right, guess what video we're doing soon, everyone? Now,
well, you know, yeah. So does that put the voucher right up again?
It does actually. That puts the voucher quite up. That actually puts the voucher up now too. Let me just let me work it out for you.
I love and hate you all at the same time.
Right, hang on. Let me just sort that one out. So that puts the voucher to. Yeah, it does. That puts the voucher up. So let me just go into studio mode.
Get an extra 10 quid for each BB that finds the brown ring.
Let me
This is going to be painful.
Let me just edit this. Save that.
I'm going to be able to sit down for a week.
So the voucher now has gone to, thanks to the awesomeness that is Dan.
I've still got the bruise on my leg
There you
from when
go.
you shot me after you walked past me because you had it in your hand and I was marshalling and you went, I've run out of ammo and I shot you. You went, well, you shot me because I've got no ammo. You nicked a gun off somebody else and I went, I'm not going to flaming shoot you when you got ammo.
I can't believe you.
Yeah, you see that's I guess so. I should have seen that one coming, but I got you back and you've still got a bruise and I haven't.
I've still it's permanently a part of me now.
5, 6. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Slade, if you do another 50 quid on spreadsheet. Although Alan will have to do some blurring on that.
Yeah.
Is this going to be on the OnlyFans? Going to have to put this on Jen's OnlyFans.
Only guns.
Only guns. So you get. I'm just trying to figure out how many friggin' how many goes on the marble race Dan's getting now when he's going to win a voucher.
What's it up to 80 quid?
It's up to 80 quid now. Yeah, if I flip over to this one, there you go. Up to
I
80.
hope I win because that'll pay for Angron.
Get you like an Element Games one or something like that. Yeah, we're up to 80 quid. And I'm just trying to figure out how many it is because I did. I'm doing everyone bonus extras. So 20 would get you 8 plus 12, so 24. So you're getting 24 plus a bonus 6.
Has got you another sub.
Yeah. Oh, we got up. What have we?
Just give me one ticket. You know what I'm like.
Yeah, you'll probably win it.
I did win a Mach 11 Fleming yesterday.
Yeah.
My point exactly.
Another one. It's 1, 2.
Another
3,
one.
4.
Yeah.
What's that? Gun number 50.
That was gun number 50. Yeah. Not of all time. Currently in my possession.
There you go.
I've got a tiny bit of wall sat there, which I'm gonna have to put a pegboard on so I can actually fit these up. Because one of the reasons why this is sat here on the floor is because I've got nowhere to put it.
Who's got the IP?
50, 60, 70, 80, 20. So that's 13. Sorry, I'm just working out.
He's currently doing maths.
You're sat at a computer, Alan. You've got a calculator.
No, that's all right. I've nearly done it now. So
No, in his computer, he'll bring up the calculator and fuck up OBS.
yeah, that's true. And the weird thing is now because I got. So someone sent me one of me Amazon. Oh no, they didn't go on Amazon. They just sent me one because we were talking about it the other day. So because the other day when I was talking, because whenever we're playing games, I have it on the big monitor. I have OBS on this monitor. This is why I keep looking that way because I'm reading chat and looking at cameras and whatnot that side. And then that side we've got Discord running, and we're running these two cameras off that screen. I had nowhere where I could put like the gifting list or Streamlabs or any questions or anything. So all of a sudden, I get home from work today, and there's a big stand, which is sat here, and then there's another monitor. So I'm now sat all around. So if you see me looking weirdly all around like this, and I'm not looking this way, that's why. So, yeah.
When you're hacking into
I've only got 2 and I look like a weirdo.
I got 4 now. But one of the good things I want to do is when Jem gets back into playing ETS and ATS, so the driving game where she crashes all the time and thinks it's a racing game when it's not. She's literally delivering shit. I'm going to try and get it so it appears on all of this. So she can have OBS up here, but all the screens, she can have like different aspects of the cab and stuff like that. That's the next thing I need to do.
I've seen people do that when they're doing the driving. So they've got like the left wing window there, your right window there, your actual windscreen here.
Kay's just asked a good question.
9. Go on, fire away. 10.
What's been the biggest waste of money you've bought in Airsoft?
Oh, there's the For the Emperor. Whoever subscribed, thank you very much. Should pop up in a minute. Biggest waste of money. Oof.
See, I've technically got 2.
Go on then, you go first while I'm thinking. And Dan's thinking.
So my first one would be cheap boots. So I used to always buy the Carrymore boots from Sports Direct just because they were like 30 quid, and I've got whopping feet. So I've got like size 13, 14 feet depending on what brand they are. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I invested in a pair of Solomons, and they have been solid for like I'd go for, with the Carrymore boots. I'd probably go like every 6-7 weeks, and I'd wear them out because I'd wear them for playing in, and I'd wear them knocking about and stuff. And then I bought a pair of Solomons, spent a couple of £100 on a pair of Solomons, and 3.5 years later they're still going strong. And I used to wear them in my old job at the school, and I was doing 20,000 steps a day doing that. So I definitely say cheap boots. And the other one is gloves, because I never wear them. I buy them, wear them for like 10 minutes, and then take them off because I get too hot with them on. And then they just say attached to my rig or something. I've got a pair of Pig Delta gloves that are like £40, and I think I've worn them more for cutting bushes back at site and picking logs up than I am actually playing.
Yeah.
Talking of logs, I've got to empty the toilets still.
What about you, Dan?
No.
What about yourself? What was your biggest waste of money you bought? I'll be back in one sec. I'm going to go and grab mine.
Well, yeah. I can show you both my biggest and my smallest waste of money, and they're both optic related.
Night, Nigel.
Bye, Nigel. My smallest waste of money is this. It is a 90-degree scope.
Oh, I remember when you
Gives
got
you the
that.
ability to see. Yeah, you can see round corners, but you can also see straight through it. So it's fantastic, except it's literally for blind firing, so you can never ever use it on site. You can literally hold the gun out like that and still see what you're shooting.
Good night,
That's my
Nigel.
smallest waste of money.
Sorry, Nigel.
Have you seen that?
Too good. No, what's that? Sorry, I've just got back. What is it?
This is a
It's
90-degree scope,
Oh,
so you can see straight through it.
yeah.
So you can see it as normal, but then you can hold your gun at 90 degrees and see what your scope sees.
All right.
It's legitimately for cheat blind firing, so you can't use it anywhere. I can turn it round so you can go the other way as well. So
You cheap bastard.
Where's my fingers? Yeah.
It
So
is
you can
cool
see my
as
fingers.
anything, but
It's
completely
cool as hell.
fine.
It doesn't cost much, but I can never ever use it. It's more for the bands.
More for the memes.
More for the memes. But my biggest waste of money, even though I love it so much, is it's like 100 and... How much should I spend on this? Like 160 quid, 170 quid. It is a Meprolite FT. I don't know whether you can see that. FT Spotlight.
Oh, I
So
remember
what that
you bought
is-
that as well.
Oh, mate, it's for going on the back of Glocks. So what you can do is... There it is. It is like a hollow sight that sits on the very top of your Glock. So it'll always point straight and true. So what you do is you get it so that you can see the dot, and then you can see the ring. Like that. Which means that's when it's good.
107.
And this costs like 100 and odd quid. And
Just
the
for real.
downside to this is it's a Meprolite. It's proper Gucci real steel stuff. Except it only works on an actual Glock because that bit there that goes onto the slide on a normal Glock is just a slot which it goes in. Unfortunately for the Airsoft version, there's a screw that holds the back, that doesn't just hold the back sight on. It also holds the gas bit on.
The blowback in the unit.
Yeah.
So when you try to use it on an airsoft gun, you have to find something to do with that screw. So I'm yet to figure out a useful way of putting that onto that without
Didn't you have a
actually...
3D printed bit for it?
I did, but because it's 3D printed, you have to put random wood screws in it and it shakes itself off, and I do not want to go to a site and have that shake off because I'm never going to get it back again because I think I imported that from Texas.
But not
Tell
going
me you
it's
have
a
too
very-
much money when you, without telling me you have too much money.
No, it won't go on my AAP because it doesn't have dovetail, which Glocks have.
As bad as it sounds, can you not just like arrow diet it on or something?
Yeah, I'll arrow this on a gun and never get it off again.
You
But
don't sell
again,
shit
no,
anyway.
because you still need the screw to go into something. If the screw's not screwing into this, then your gas block, your gas thing's doing this.
Well, glue your gas thing in then.
One day I'll figure it out. but it is the sexiest thing ever. I love it to bits.
You've reminded me actually. I brought them over. I need to put my ghost sights back on my AAP because I've just took my RMR off. So I had me. Where's my AAP? So I had my little RMR sight, that one, on the AAP, which you can just see there.
It's getting warmer.
So yeah, I've put it on that just to make it look a little bit nicer and fancier, and it actually sits quite well. And I want to try it out with that one as well. But probably the biggest waste that I used both of these once is everyone meet Big Vlad. So,
You might be able to see that on the Discord. That's the thing that you said, the 3D printed bit.
But that's the biggest waste I bought. So that mask, which I wore for half of a game day at level 2, along with that helmet, which I wore for half of a game day at level 2, and I haven't worn them since. Brand new.
I know a couple of people have done that with war queue helmets.
Yeah, I had one of those masks as well, and I wore it for a safety brief at level 2, and my eyeballs were sweating, so I swapped back to my mesh straight away.
Yeah. I think it was the same game day. I wore that for half a game, and I just because I had all my sights and everything set up so that basically my cheek was just here, but because you had the mask on, I was like here. Let me just move over to this camera. So where I'm normally leaning like this, and it's on my cheek. I mean, this isn't helping at the minute. But where I'm like that, looking down my sights, because it was a mask on, I'm now like this. Because the mask is now here. So I'm looking over the top of everything. So I'm trying my best to shoot, but I'm ending up having to just fire from the hip because I can't look down my sights because I can't see fuck all. So yeah, that was pointless.
It's good if you've got a pistol.
Yeah.
But anything else, you need like a 10-foot riser on
Shotgun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
or a shotgun.
Yeah, and I just sat painting it, so it looks a little bit different because I painted all these bits just to give it a bit of definition. So that's not standard. That was all brown as well. And I
remember.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go for because I was going to use it for indoors. I didn't want to go for the black shaded version or like the different colours. I just wanted to be able to see out of it. But that's probably
the one I had. I think Henry wore more.
Yeah. Well, that I might use.
That could also hint towards if anybody's ever actually done their first games and they've got rentals and they've got the full face rental mask and they think, oh, this is a bit bobbins. It's only for 3 games. Then you get your Yukara and then you can get your own stuff. And when you get your own stuff and you find a mask that works for you, it feels so much better.
Yeah.
The rental masks will never be as good as anything that you buy. So don't judge the game on the rental masks.
Yeah. And you may be the rental mask tasting other people.
Yeah, and the rental guns, to be honest, because the rental guns get run through just by what they are. So you turn around and say, oh, the range on these toy guns aren't very good. It's because it's a rental gun. Go get your 3-3, get your Kara, get a decent, relatively cheap thing, and then you can start feeling the real game.
Yeah, and you'll enjoy it a lot more. Anyone in chat got any more questions they want to put out there? I think I've only got one more. We kind of covered it in I think the very first one, but someone asked me could I discuss it, which I've got all the questions up here. People have asked me because we've done slings, we've done zero insights. I've got 2 more. Sorry, I got 2 more questions that people have asked. So this one was there it is. How does the hop work? Anyone want to field that one?
How does the hop work?
Yeah.
There's a quick answer and a long answer. Quick answer is as your
Case just said the quick answer. Magic fairy dust.
Quick answer. So if you look on the inside, I don't know if you can see it on the camera just because of the blurry background.
I'll do mine. I'll flip to mine while you're saying.
Yeah, so basically you have a hop unit inside your gun, and what it does is you have a couple of wheels on it. Inside the hop unit, you're in a barrel, and you hop rubber, and you also have what's called a nub. Some people refer to them as buckings as well. What the hop does is it applies pressure via the nub to a window on the barrels. So on an electric gun, you have like a rectangle window. The nub presses through that, so when the BB hits it as it's been fired, it gives the BB backspin. And what that does is then it allows it to travel, and it sort of rises, and then eventually it'll drop at its furthest distance. Sniper rifles have a similar principle. They have what's called an open window though, so it's like a square horseshoe shape, because that obviously the way they load their ammunition in and the way their internals work is different as well. This is also how you adjust the trajectory of the BB for the weight of BB as well. So sniper rifles will often use a heavier weight BB because they've got a higher power. So you'd use something like upwards of a 0.4 and above, whereas most AEGs are comfortable around a 2.8 to a 3.2 without any real fettling as such.
Dan's doing a diagram to help you out.
Yeah, Dan's doing a diagram. It's all about science and backspin and all that sort of stuff. And that's the general gist of it. I could go a lot more into it, but I think people will fall asleep if I do.
So yeah, I don't know whether you can see that very well, but what happens is the hop unit pushes down on a rubber in front of the BB. The more you put that down, the more that will spin backwards. So as that gets forced past it, once it gets to here and it gets past the nubbin, because it's had to hit that, the BB itself is now going in that direction.
Like backspin with golf.
So then by the time it comes... Yeah, literally. So by the time it comes out the end of your barrel, it'll go like that.
Yeah.
The more down this is, I'm going too far because it never goes down halfway down the barrel. But the more you put on, the more it'll go up. The less you put on, the more it'll go straight and then go up later. Or not go up at all. It's hard to do on a piece of paper with a flaming great big bright light on it, but if I decided to do it on something like a paintbrush or something like that, basically the more hop you put on, the more it holds the BB and makes it go like that.
Yeah. So you imagine like a spitballer tube. You know, in school when you used to get your straw and you used to get a spitball and spit them through. It's kind of the same premise, but what you've got is like a little hole in the top of it. So you've got your tube. You got a little hole in the top, and then your hop pushes down on it, and then as your little spitball or your BB is going through it, it's catching the top, which is causing it to spin this way. And then the more you put on it, the more it flies up in the air. A little bit less, does less, and then if you don't put any on, it just literally goes on the floor like that. And that's, yeah, it's like when you hit a golf shot. When you hit a driver, your driver's more flat, so as you hit it, it creates the backspin. Whereas when you're using a club that's more like that, it's not creating as much. So it's kind of the same sort of premise. Davos wants to know, why does his father not love him?
Because he's from the south.
There is that.
Is it?
He's also... well, I don't get that first one, Davos. You got a question. I have egg noodles for dinner. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I don't see a question in there.
Okay.
And the last one, this is the last question before we run out of questions. So, chat, you need to get your asses working. Where's he gone? Oh, no, so Kay put one in chat. Sorry, Kay did put one in. Sorry, Kay. Does the weight of the BB actually matter in the UK weather? Ooh, that's a great question.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It does.
Massively. So
Okay, well,
obviously we live in a country that has notoriously bad weather for majority of the year, apart from now where you're sweating like mad. So higher powered guns normally put out heavier weight BBs because higher FPS, dual ratings, all that sort of thing. So if it's windy, you want to go heavier, because there's less likely chance that the wind will take it. Also, when it's raining, you want to go heavier as well, because if a raindrop hits the BB while it's in flight, it can deflect it off elsewhere. So it's purely down to what weapon you're using, the weather you're playing in, how good your hop unit setup is in your barrel. But short answer, yes, BB weight does matter.
Yeah, and it's the type of gun as well, because gas, obviously, you've got different types of gas that go in it. So in certain weathers, you can, if you put a different type of gas in it, like a red gas or a black gas, that you'd normally use in the winter, but you're using it in the middle of the heat wave we've been having, then you're just going to fly over your FPS and you're not going to be able to use it, and they won't want to. If you go and get it chronoed, like if you went to see Dan, you got it chronoed, you're shooting about 40 or 50 over your FPS, you won't let you use it. So yeah, the weather does make a massive difference for different reasons.
If you're firing 10 over your FPS, I'm not going to let you use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Weather can also be dependent on your hot rubbers as well. So if it's colder, rubbers will stiffen up. If it's warmer, rubbers become more malleable. So that can affect FPS as well. And also, some sites now in the UK are using what's it called? Joules rather than FPS, which is the kinetic energy that the BB hits with. So it's more aimed at sniper rifles, but an HPA, because you get what's called dual creep in HPA. So it really does depend. You know, you could be shooting absolutely fine on .36s at one site, but then go to a site that does duals, and you could be hot and have to use a lower weight ammunition, which then can cause problems with the way your gun's set up and so on and so forth. Me personally, I've always, as long as I've been playing, it's always been FPS. Whereas duals, I think it's just someone just trying to be, go off what the Americans do. They do a lot in duals. But at the end of the day, you're shooting plastic at someone, it's not going to kill you. But then that's when face and eye protection come into it and so on.
Yeah, the thing is with duals, technically, even FPS does use joules. It's just that FPS is easier to measure because it's a bigger number. Because 350 FPS is 1.134 something joules.
Yeah, it's easier for the
351 FPS is 1.3 something like that, 1.3 joules. So the joule creep happens because joules are, it's like millimeters as opposed to centimeters. Even though it's technically wrong, because one's joules is the amount of pressure which is imparted upon you when it hits, as opposed to the speed of the BB. Basically, somebody did maths a long time ago, realized that 350 FPS when it clatters you at a foot away is 1.13 blah, 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 joules. 500 FPS from a sniper rifle, once it's traveled 30 meters and hits you in the face, it's hitting you with about 1.1 joule. But when it's coming out the barrel, it's coming out at like 4. So don't get it with that.
Yeah. Don't stand there.
So yeah.
But
when you talk about joule creep, that's why they have engagement distances, because it's based on 1.1 joules when it finally hits you, not when it leaves the gun. But I had somebody that came to the site with an SRS, and he was something like 15 over with the 4s that he was using. But then when I put 2s in, he was like 8 under because of dual creep. And it was really confusing. So that's why when you go to a chrono and they turn around and I turn around to you and say, what weight's your BB? And you say, I don't know. I'm like, right, because you kind of need to check on the day on what you're actually using, because I've said dual creep. It's not so much of a problem when you've got something that's full auto and you're using 2.5s. I can chrono you with the 2s that I've got if you don't know the 2.5s. So the dual creep isn't going to be that big. But if you have something like a sniper rifle, I took 4s out the last time I used that, and it was a windy day, and I really should have took 5s, because those things were going to space. I put my hop unit. I went from 2 to 3 on my hop unit, and they were going to the moon, and not going very far because of the weight of the BB. It travels slower, but it travels farther. If you know what I mean, in a relatively straight line. So if you have like a 4 on a sniper rifle and you're shooting the BB and you see it going up and then back down before it gets to the dude, that's because you got it set for 4s. If you then put 5s in and you've not changed your hop, the BB will carry on going straight, and then much further past when it was supposed to go up, it'll then go up, because it's took that much longer for the BB to slow down because of its mass, to actually have the hop actually do its thing. and then it flies straight over the dude's head that you just shot at, even though it was sighted in a minute ago. So yes, you wait. The further away you go from where you are, the weight is more. If you're doing indoor stuff and you're doing within 30 meters, 2s, 2 5s, 2 8s, pretty much act the same as long as you've got it hopped for that unit. It's like a lot of the times I'll use me ARP with a drum mag on it and just use 2s if I'm going somewhere indoors because it's the cheapest ammunition to use, and I'm only throwing it 8, 10, 12 foot out.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I guess they're quicker.
But I'll go from 2 8s to maybe 3s if I'm doing something like mower somewhere outdoors and I know I'm going to have to chuck it a distance.
Yeah, I use 3s.
And then sniper rifles, 4s and 5s.
Yeah, I'm the same. So that actually leads on a little bit what you were covering then to the last question that I've got is what are FPS limits and what are the different limits for different riffs? So that would lead on to different limits. So obviously that'll lead down to snipers, DMRs, normal rifles, pistols, and whatnot. Slave did ask. We'll cover this one in a minute, but Slave did ask a question: who has the best tattoo? Now I'm out of this one.
Adam
don't have any.
Adam has the best tattoos because he has more of them. I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've only got 7.
I don't have any.
My best one's on my leg. It's hard to show you. I got it for. Do you believe it or not? My best one I've got on my leg, and I won it in a raffle. I won it in a raffle for Help for Heroes. I did a raffle for Help for Heroes, but I don't know whether you can.
Hang on, let me zoom in on Dan. Jen, you're going to enjoy this one, and she's coming in to help me out with my.
It's upside down, but it's that one.
Oh yeah, your microphone's in the way, but it's okay.
Oh, microphone's in the way.
There you go. Hey.
That fucker.
Flip your camera, everyone. Flip your phones.
I won that one in a raffle many, many moons ago, back when the rock club that I used to go to still existed before it got knocked down for a block of flats.
I think Boggy might be happy as well because a bit of feet were shown.
Yeah, it was a bloody great big raffle for Help for Heroes. We did a couple of thousand for that, which was brilliant. So I got an hour with my main tattoo artist now. He wasn't at the he worked at the tattoo place that I worked at, but then, as most tattoo places are, once you've done your training, you go off and you get your own stuff. So he's now got a tattoo place called Bold Street. Originally he was in Saz, which is where I got my original 1, 2, 3, and 4. But then I've started using him from then on after that because I won an hour with him. Then when I went to show up, he went, "You can have an hour of whatever you want, but there's something I want to do. If you let me do that one, I can go as long as I like." And he showed me that, and I went, "Do you know what? That's brilliant because it's also because with it being a Help for Heroes thing, it's a skull on some roses, get it done." So yeah, that was about 2.5 hours and 3 vanilla lattes. It's the reason why I drink vanilla lattes now is because of that tattoo.
Well, I've had to bring Jen in because I don't have any tattoos, so I've had to bring Jen in to show off hers.
No, that's not why I'm here.
Aww.
I'm putting a vote in only because they are elite tattoos. I'm going to say Adam with the Viking runes on his fingers because we're twins.
Ah, the Roonies. Put your hands up there. Put your hands up there. Camera. There you go. And let me move over to Adam.
So that's my vote.
There you go.
And Luke, fuck you.
We're twins.
So mine is it's my son's name in Viking runes. So my son's called Henry. Each one means something different, but all of them together means what's it called?
It's a meaning or a letter.
It has a separate meaning together, but I've got my hands done. I've got cut a ship. I've got all Angel St. Michael up there. I've got some tribal when I was 19. full sleeve on my right arm. I've got writing on my chest. I've got back of my leg done. I've got both my knees done, and somewhere else that I'm not going to announce on this stream.
I think I know what that is.
Yeah.
I think you've told me
It
that
says
story.
Kaylee as
WY
well,
when he's not
she's-
happy. When he is happy, it says welcome to Jamaica. Have a nice holiday.
Pretty much, yeah. Kaylee's also covered in tattoos as well. She's got a massive death moth on her chest, 2 full sleeves, and then you're going on to your back, aren't you? Legs next. I get my head done eventually, but yeah, then I will be
I
definitely.
need to get my forearms done. I've been waiting for a decade to do my forearms.
Well, I
I
just
keep
want
on
to
buying
say,
guns instead of spending the money on tattoos.
just want to say a big thank you to Michael for the £25 super chat. You're an absolute legend, sir, and we all love you to bits. We love you being part of the community, sir. You are certainly not one of the most boring members. It's absolutely great.
no.
I tip my hat to you, Mr. Hadley.
Yeah, we all love you, mate.
He's not one of the most boring members. Fuck you, Luke.
Everyone's jumping on the fuck you, Luke bandwagon.
Fuck you, Luke.
I don't even know who you are, Luke, but fuck you.
There he goes, Luke. He's there. But yeah, we've.
Hello.
But as, just so everyone knows, we are 4 super chat, super stickers, or super likes away from taking that up to 90. So we're only 4 away. We're only 4 away from moving that up, and it goes on all the way to the end of July. So, considering we've only been doing, oh, for fuck's sake. I fucking love you. All right, guess what? Hang on, let me just make that smaller. Let me go into that one.
Yeah, I agree with Kaylee. Michael for PM.
Yeah.
Michael for PM.
Ta-da!
Michael, does PM stand for permanent monetization?
Oh.
Oh, that is the 50 quid slides, right? That is 50 quid for us to spread.
That is 50 quid, yeah.
Oh, we got to spread cheeks now.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, we won't be able to film that though.
Blur it out.
Right,
That's what the bird's for. Put the uncensored version on Jen's OnlyFans.
So that's put us 9 away. And not that anyone cares, because that I'm just like fucking gobsmacked. I love all of you.
90 quid.
So we are up to £90, and we're only 9. Obviously, members isn't working properly, but we're only 9 more away from hitting 100. Which, when I started doing this, and the whole premise of this was just have a bit of fun. And I did say from day one, and people will attest to this, that once we get monetized, I will start doing things for other people, giving things to other people, make it all inclusive, get more people involved. I'm not going to ask anyone to say what's happened or what's done and whatnot. That's between me and them. But that was the whole idea behind this. And obviously, when you gift like that, 100% of that doesn't come to the channel. Obviously, YouTube take their amount. I've got to put some aside for tax and whatnot. But what I'm trying to do is do this voucher. Obviously, I've ripped it off from someone else who does it, and they do something very similar, but they earn a lot more money out of it than me. This is just a side gig for me. This is just a bit of fun. This is just a laugh we can have. And
Considering you don't have the same number of members.
yeah, I've got nowhere near the same number of members, and I haven't got anywhere near.
You're not doing bad.
Yeah. And considering it's only been like 2 and a bit weeks or something that we're up to now. But yeah, Slave got it. But that goes so far beyond what I thought we'd get in my wildest dreams. I was thinking 20 quid, 30 at a push. The fact that we haven't even got to July yet, and we're running this competition till the end of July, I fucking love you all. You're all fucking amazing. So yeah, just thought I'd say that to you as well. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. When I've just bought a load of. Let me go back to me again. Sorry, I've just bought a load of things that we're gonna do at the. I think I sent Kay a message before about when we do the next game day. I've just bought a couple more inflatables. So when you do the repo game, there's going to be 4 of us now who are going to be inflatables.
One of them's got a very sharp face.
Yeah, that's going to be.
I'll read the message now, sorry.
Only sent it this morning.
In her defence, she has had her head buried in a laptop for the last hour and a
Yeah,
half.
no,
So
she's busy.
you know.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, if we're doing what I think we're doing at the next game, I require to borrow an LMG off someone. Daniel.
Yeah, Dan, you need to bring some weaponry on the day.
Yeah,
The difference between your minigun, difference between your minigun and my Crytek is about 2,500 rounds.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way, or I'm gonna have to buy some more mags. I'm gonna have to figure out a way of reloading this myself. So I might have to put it on a sling and just have it dangling, reload, and then go back to it. But I don't know if Luke's seen this. Luke, I don't know if you've seen this yet. Let me just go back over to me. Have you seen?
Buy a second
yeah,
minigun and have the
for it.
marshal just swap the miniguns over.
Yeah, I do. You know what? I could go and buy a second minigun. Imagine me with two of them.
No thanks. I don't want to get shot by you again.
Okay, and we do have footage of that happening, which is coming soon. It's on the PC, ready for editing.
It's what happens when you hide behind a Clio when you're 6'5".
Look at that. That is a sexy one. It's a bit of a heavy bitch, and the only thing I don't like.
It's not heavy.
No, so it's a bit of an awkward bitch when you can't do a lot with your wrist, but no, that's a sexy gun, and I'm so happy that I taught myself into it. And Adam taught me into it, and everyone else said I should get it as well. So, you bastards, I love yous. But yeah, one for each arm. That's it. We'll do the Nemesis from Resident Evil. Stars. Carry two of them.
You need to
Why do
use
you
a
wanna
3D print
borrow
yourself a Calgar.
I know. I need to do. I'm working too many fucking hours. Because Ultramarines
Print
do
yourself
live
a full
longer.
Calgar suit, and then have the belts that come out the back that don't attach to the guns.
Has
Just
anyone,
like the game.
has anyone seen that in the game? So when Calgar drops down, when they're doing the last stand, and he's just shooting everyone, have a look at. Obviously, he's got the stone bolters on his arms, and the ammo's below his backpack. That actual whole bandolier, if you like, that feeds it. Yeah.
It goes down 3 links and then just stops.
It just isn't connected. So he's transporting the bullets into his fucking guns.
Bluetooth bolt around.
Yeah, Bluetooth. Yeah.
He's just
can I borrow it
Marines
instead of the
live longer
boys?
with Calgar.
They do. Ultramarines do live
It's
longer with
Calgars.
Calgar.
Ultramarines live longer with Calgar.
But yes, Kay, you can borrow it for one of the games where Marshall.
Thank you.
Don't shoot me with it.
Guess what, Buttercup?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No. I'm going to put my foot down on this one because you're going to shoot him in a video. You're not allowed to shoot him on the day.
Nah.
I'll just shoot Nate then. I don't care.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
we'll do Nate. He did.
It's
I
not
think.
Yeah,
the
fully
cheat
Nate.
shield.
I think Nate did pop in before, and I missed his chat. So if you did, sorry, Nate.
Oh, Nate won't be at the next game. He's jumping out of the plane.
Well, I'm sure I can find someone.
Can I fire
Foggy?
it at Luke as he's
Andy?
bullied me last night? Yeah, I think we need to do a secondary video when we go to, because we're going for a night out in Sheffield at the end of next month. Me and Jen. I might take it with me so Jen can shoot Luke. Would anyone like to see that?
Yeah, video it.
Would anyone like to see that?
Just not in public and get you.
Yeah, don't get arrested.
Can't make any promises.
Like when Martin said something in the raffle chat when I won that Mach 11. I
Slaves
said, I'm going
like
to shoot you first.
Slaves like that. No, he doesn't like that idea. Tough shit. But yeah, I've enjoyed it tonight. It's been a laugh. We're 9 away from hitting the magical 100. Anyone else got anything that you want to cover tonight or anything?
Oh, did we cover the FPS?
Oh yeah, we never went into that yet. So what are the FPS limits and what are the different limits for different rifts? So obviously sniper, DMR, and why is there certain limits?
Kind of to allude to what I said before about 1.1 joule when it hits you. Anything that fires full auto is 350 rounds per second. Any pistol is also 350 feet per second. Also, pistols are 350 feet per second because they expect you to walk in through a door and clatter somebody from point blank range. So anything that's intended for it to hit you from like that far away is 350 feet per second. So when it hits you, it's 1.1 joule.
That'd be them too.
There you go, Sean. Yeah, that'd be them too. Any of these that isn't DMR'd apart from that that one right there, because that's a DMR.
This is a DMR.
Yes, because DMRs have a different FPS range, which is 420 blazing.
There you go. That's a DMR. It's got a contraption in the back there that allows it just to be set to single shot. And for marshalling, I might take the piss one day and just stick the binary trigger on it, just for a bit of a fun, bit of a laugh.
Even though they're banned at the site.
We love you too, Ad.
Binary trade.
I can only afford a fiver.
Hey,
but
you never. I've said all along, you never have to do anything. I appreciate that. That's put you down twice anyway on the giveaway.
So a DMR, as I say, DMR is 420. It's not the full fat 500 for a sniper rifle, because it is, as Alan said, single fire, but it can fire as quickly as you can pull the trigger. If you're one of those spicy speed softers, you can go pretty quick with a single fire. So, but it still has, because of the higher FPS, it's got an engagement distance. Different for different sites, but our engagement distances for DMRs and snipers are the same, which is 30 meters, isn't it?
30 meters for DMR and sniper, yes.
Yes, they're both the same, 30 meters. So when it gets 30 meters away, it's slightly below 1.1 joule, but you're going to get clattered with more than one. As for a sniper rifle is 500 feet per second with the same 30 meter engagement range, because you have to fire and then shink, fire, chink, fire, chink, fire. So there's much less BBs traveling towards it. So you're probably only going to get hit by one. You'll know it when you get hit, but you're only going to get hit by one. But yeah, effectively it is round about 1.1 joule. It hits you at 35 meters away, but it's 500 feet per second.
But Michael, you are an absolute don of a man.
Ooh, Michael.
You
Michael, have you seen that?
Little sausage.
Fucking love you, Mike.
Oh, he's seen that. You can see his face.
Michael, yeah, you're a legend, mate. You are a proper legend. There needs to be more people in the world like you. And yeah, I'm just as gobsmacked as Alan is.
I don't know what to fucking say. I'm just sat there like, fucking wow.
Makes me want to start a YouTube channel. I can pay off a car.
You get monetized.
If I start a YouTube channel, can you come over to mine as well, Michael?
Fuck hell.
That is some true generosity right there. That is.
Now, Michael, are you doing it mainly so that Al has to do more maths?
Yeah, look at the.
Do you like watching his maths face?
Now it's hilarious.
Especially when I got to look up now because some amazing person sent me another monitor. That's why I'm looking up, not here, because like there's a new one up here now. But hang on, let me just go into my studio mode and just change something. While you guys just keep chatting away.
I can carry on with the FPS thing if you like.
Please do.
Yeah, carry on, Dan.
Because there is a couple of little minor things. Because it's like one time, I was on Chrono. Adam's doing Adam does the briefing after. There's a lad that came up to me. It was the lad with the SRS that I was talking about before, and he was like 10 over. But he was using 4s. And the FPS actually it's not 500 FPS if you're on 4. It's 500 FPS if you're based on a 0.2 gram BB. And for 4s, I'm going to have to look at the picture now so I can remember what it is for 4s. Do I have it on me? I should have it on me somewhere. I've got too many pictures of guns. What is it for 4s?
4s on a 500 FPS sniper.
4s on a sniper is it's 354.
Yeah.
So it's not 500 feet per second. It's 354 feet per second because they did the maths and they found out that 354 feet per second with a 0.5 gram BB, it's still 1.1 when it hits you at 30 meters. So I'm looking for 354. He's getting like 360 something or other, and I said, "Nah, you can't use it." And then he hears the briefing and it says 500 for snipers. And he comes back to me and he says, it says 500 for snipers. I was at 360 something. I'm like, but that's because you're running fours. So yeah, it's easier to figure out if you're doing something that works off a normal full auto or pistol. So 350 feet per second on twos. Once you go to 2.5s, it's 313. And then 2.8s, 296. 3s, 286. 3.2s, 277. So the number goes down because of the mass of the BB. So if you are starting off and you go to a site and you turn around and say, I've got this full auto gun, I've got 2.5s on, and you chrono at 330, they'll say no. But I thought it was 350. Yeah, but it's 313 if you're running 2.5s. So that's the kind of thing you have to figure out in your head before you go out to site. Or when you go to site and they turn around and say no, and it's a number you're not expecting, that'll be why. If you know what I mean. FPS stuff is a pain in the ass to try and explain because it's all, everything's bloody different every bloody time. It's not different, but it's different when you go to different sites and you go to different. That's another thing. Chronos. Every chrono, whatever site you go to, whatever chrono is being used is the correct number. So if you're someone like me and you've got your own chrono and you've sorted it all out before you go out, and you go to the site and you're 5 over, well, it doesn't matter whether you've read it as 3 below. Where you are, it's 5 over, so it's 5 over. Don't argue with it. It is the way it is. That site chrono has to be the chrono that is used for the day for everybody.
Yeah, you get a lot of people that can be a bit arsey as well. There is so you get a site that's up and down. They own a few sites up and down the country, and they're forever getting flack for how terrible their chrono rules are and their limits that they set and everything like that.
Yeah, I think they sit a little bit below what it's supposed to be, don't they?
Well, not even that. It's they used to be 328 with a 10% variant on a 0.2 used to be your limit. Now 328 with a 10% variant takes you over 350 FPS for anything that does full auto. So that statement in itself is a contradiction. I think, if my math is correct, I could be wrong, but please bear with me because it's hot. And they deliberately run their chrono for HPA lower because they don't like it, for lack of a better word. And this has been proven time and time again by the times they've changed their FPS rulings on HPA. So much so that last time I went, Boggy was with us. Couldn't use his HPA rifle because the PSI he needed to run it at, the gun wouldn't cycle correctly. So that's, that sort of thing. I get why they have different FPS rules for HPA, because some HPA users will mess with the regulators once they've been to chrono to put them more powerful, because they like hurting people. It has been heard of many a time. This is why we enforce our tournament lock rule at PTC, and it is the same colour tag as the day's tags that we're using. And I think that's the easiest way you can do it. But you will always get the odd one that will fuck about. Even if you take your chrono with you to this particular establishment site, whether it be down south or up north, and prove to them that how bad their chrono is out. I remember going to one of the sites up here, and their chrono was out by 30 FPS, which is a massive thing. And they're all like, "Oh well, our chronos are used for real firearms and blah de blah de blah." And it's like, right, well, for a start, it's not going to be calibrated to airsoft guns, then, is it? Because a real firearm travels in excess of 4,000 feet per second. whereas an airsoft gun doesn't. You know, that's why the chrono we use at the shop is specific for what we do. And instead of going, you know what, I think you're onto something here. I think you might be, you know, maybe we do need to look at our chronos. You know, if someone came to me and said, look, I think your chrono's out by 30, I'd be like, oh shit, maybe we need a new chrono then. Thanks for bringing it to our attention, sort of thing. They kicked the people off site and banned them.
Wow.
And that's not how you run.
No.
You know, a safe, you know, FPS, you know, a safe site. Luckily, it was under, not over. If say for instance, you know, their gun was their chronos were 30 FPS under, and you went and go, oh, I can crank that up, sweet. You know, put a bigger spring in or adjust the regulator, then you could have a bigger problem on your hands. And it's also there's another site up here as well that chrono your guns, and if it's as long as it's under on whatever ammo you're using, that is fine. Now if you know your chrono stuff and you know what the laws are around it all and everything, anything over 372 FPS on a .2 BB is a Section 5 firearm and can land you with up to 3 years in prison should you be caught. Now, it never happens because never heard of it happening, but they are the laws in place. I went to this particular site in question, and Dan, you were with me that day with Nate and Dane, and my Polar Star was chronoing at 348 on a .28, which is well spicy. And I said to the marshal, I said, look, on a .2, that's like 380. I need to go and turn it down. No, you're fine. You're fine. It's because you're under 350. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. He goes, no, honestly, you're fine.
That's 1.58 joule.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's dangerous, especially in a CQB environment where this particular site, you're never more than 10 feet away from someone. So I took it upon myself to go back into the safe zone. I got my regulator key and I turned my regulator down. And I went back and I said, can I just chrono again? And he was like, you've already done it, it's fine. And I'm like, just humour me. And it dropped to 285, I think, which is just under the limit for 2.8s indoors, or 2.8s in general. I think your limit on 2.8s in general is 290. So I was happy with that. I was like, right, that's legal for this place, great.
280 is 1.02, which is
all it needs is someone to wander in and just check that isn't part of the business or isn't part of the game plan or whatever, and to dob you in, and it's just not worth the hassle. And it annoys me how uneducated some people are when it comes to FPS laws and rules, and you know what you safely can do and can't do. This is why Dan has always been our chrono guy at PTC, because he's anal as fuck, and he will quite happily say to you, you're not using that, and if anybody gets uppity with him, he sends them to me. And we've never had an issue where a hot gun has entered site, luckily, touch wood.
I've told teammates they can't use guns.
Exactly. You know, we run a baseline rule at PTC for everybody. At the end of the day...
Like what I just said to Al when he said he's going to put a binary trigger on. I said, no, they're banned.
Well, exactly, yeah. You know, we don't have one rule for one and one rule for everybody else. It's the way we run site. You know, I've pulled Matt, who's the owner of Warrington Airsoft Retail and PTC, and gone, that's 10 over, you can't use that. But I'm the owner, so I don't give a toss. You could be the Queen Mother and you're not using it. And he was like, good, all right, I appreciate that, and went and changed his gun. And then he realised that this is the way we run the site. And if anybody wants to argue the toss, you're not playing. Sorry about that. Yep. And that's just the way we run things, because it's not worth, you know... It's
not worth having somebody's iPro blow out.
Yep.
Well, luckily, you know, anything with an EN number on their eye protection is rated for air rifles anyway, and you know, angle grinders and shit like that. So luckily...
Do you remember that one time when Holly walked in front of a DMR and smashed
Well,
her.
that was because the frames weren't rated, but the lenses.
Yeah, it hit the frame and
rated, not
the glasses went flying
Yeah.
off.
So on the off chance that it does happen, unfortunately,
That's why I carry spares, and I chucked a spare set of iPro at to get
Yeah,
them on.
exactly. So, but this is another thing why we try and be as on it as possible, because things do happen like that. But that was due to the frame failing, not the actual lenses. So yeah, and people forget, especially with FPS rules, you are playing with dangerous things, because you've got, you shoot someone point blank with a 400 FPS rifle, that's cutting skin, getting stuck in skin. We've seen it before 2 times. One was Coops when he got a BB lodged in his nose from being point blanked in the face, and that was a sub 350 gun. And then the same thing happened to Josh Jones about 4 or 5 games later. This was a couple of years ago, and he got one in his chin here.
Yeah.
And he ended up going to hospital and having to have it surgically removed, and that was point blanked in the face.
I've lost a tooth whilst marshalling.
Well, yeah, exactly. So
Dan, I'm going to click onto you. Do it again.
We are so. Show us your tooth, Dan.
It took that tooth and it took the top of that tooth. That's why that tooth looks lower than the others, because it took the top of that tooth with it.
So this is why we're
Which
so
is why,
anal on player safety.
when I'm marshalling, I still wear lower face because I've only got so many teeth left.
Well, touch wood, I've never had that problem. I don't wear lower face because I don't like the way it feels.
Yep, same.
But I'm fully.
Well, I stuck my face out for way too long because I wasn't playing. So, and I was standing behind a guy that had 5 guys after him, and he wasn't getting hit because he was really, really good. And they turned around and said, "Is he taking his hits?" I went, "Yes, he's taking his hits." "How do you know?" And I went, "Because I'm standing right." So they shot me thinking I was the guy that they were aiming at. So I stuck my head out for way too long, well out in the open, and got one right there.
Yeah, I've never worn face pro. It's my own choice. If I get shot in the face and I lose the tooth, that's on me.
Yep.
That's not anybody's fault. Whereas if a player walks into a game zone without eye protection on, and we don't see it, that's a problem.
Yep.
Because that's on us at the end of the day. Because this is, the whole reason of, especially with the under 18s as well, when they, if they take a face mask off middle of a game, we pretty much, pile on them because it's against UK law to have an under 18 in the game zone with no full face protection on. So this is why we're so anal about it.
Yep.
Or full face equivalent. This will be fine for an under 18.
And as Slade has just said, always wear your PPE. You're right there, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, health and safety. You've only got 2 eyes. You can't grow them back. So yeah, make sure you wear them. But yeah, I think it's been a nice one. It went on a bit longer than I thought. I thought with the few questions that we had, I thought it might have fizzled out. But no, I think we've had a nice little podcast. We'll do it again probably in about 6 weeks, 2 months again. We'll kind of do it every sort of, like the last one was about 6 weeks ago, so we'll just keep it going, and we'll tend to do it on
August or something.
Yeah, we'll try and do it on a weekend where we're not marshalling. So we'll try and do it on the Sunday where we're not, because otherwise we're just too fucked. That's why, like, I tend to do when we're doing a Marshall Sunday, I'll tend to do like just a gaming on my own or a hobby stream, or maybe get Jen to do something, because especially in this weather now, in this heat, we're just all too knackered. We're all too knackered. But yeah,
you can't see the fan that I've got directly on my titties.
Yeah, I've got a fan up there, and the room's just
You've got air conditioning. Shut up.
But I haven't got it on because you wouldn't be able to hear me. But yeah, I've got an air conditioning unit behind me, which I had on before the stream to cool the room down, but I'm starting to feel the heat now. Hence the reason why I'm got t-shirts on and not, wife beaters. But yeah, just want to say a big thanks to everyone, especially Michael, you fucking legend, you. But yeah, no more now. You've done too much.
Yes, definitely.
You've done way too much, so that's no more, please. But I just want to show, because of his absolute amazingness, that we are now up to...
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk of change.
Yeah. And we still got excuse my French, but we still got a fucking month to go.
That's incredible.
Whilst banning Michael to give any more.
Yeah, but
it's gone up 30 quid in just in one stream. That's amazing.
40 quid.
Was it 40? Was it? Oh, it was at 70, wasn't it? Yeah.
40 quid. Yeah, it's just... and we're getting shot
Between the cheeks.
You should offer yourself to get shot more often.
with this.
Yeah. Oh dear.
They're getting shot with this.
I'm gonna have to buy a tag launcher and tell people to send 100 quid.
Have to shot with a tag launcher.
Get shot with a tag launcher. I do have a master mic.
Slade, it's hairier than the Death Star trench, mate. It's more like a Tatooine. It's like a Sarlacc pit, mate.
Yeah, but Michael, if you're still watching, do me a favour, send me a little DM over on Discord. But yeah, I'm going to call it there. I'm kind of like, don't really know what to say. I'm a bit sort of, whew. Yeah. But
You're
thanks,
a bit
everyone.
shocked, mate.
I am, yeah. I'm a
But
bit
yeah,
like,
it's been awesome. It's been fun to talk.
It is mental.
Yeah. But yeah, so back on tomorrow. Shall we do Space Marine 2? Because we never did it, did we, on Thursday? We ended up doing Repo.
No, we haven't done Space Marine 2. I've got Helldivers now.
You got held out.
Kay's just giving us a thumbs up.
I'm up
for
to level
Space
5.
She's good with either Space
might be
Marine or
7.
Hell Divers.
Well, Space Marine's got the new Horde mode, so I'm thinking we do Space Marine 2 tomorrow, and then Tuesday we could possibly do Helldivers, because I've got that free, so we could do... Yeah, Slave, Tuesday, Helldivers. Tuesday.
How many players can you have on Hell Divers?
4.
4.
So you can have 4, yeah. So have you got a PlayStation?
Yeah, I'm on PS5. I was going to get it anyway to play
Yeah.
with Kay to help her do it.
Yeah, so have you got there is
I'm going to
crossplay.
get ready on that when that comes out as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
there is crossplay on play for Helldivers.
There is
Yeah,
crossplay,
yeah, that's
and
why I
I
was
use
looking at
controller
getting it.
even though I'm on PC.
Yeah. So Tuesday. So yeah, tomorrow we'll do Space Marine. So me, Dan, Kay, we're going to do the Horde mode. We'll try that out because the new update that's just arrived. Let me just flip over this one just to say goodbye to everyone. Tempted to print Helldivers 40k. That would be pretty cool. Do it as an Imperial Guard army and give them their own, unique name and rules and stuff like that. The something the Helldivers. That would be quite cool. That would be
Muff
really
Divers.
Cool. The Muff Divers. But yeah,
Well, you in Helldivers you do get a costume that does look a lot like the Catachans.
Yeah. Just to get some that look like Steel
And then you've
Legion
got
as well.
Davos' character that looks like a bondage Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Vader looks like a bondage Darth Vader.
Oh, cool.
This is true. Yeah.
Slade is available. So Slade, we're going to probably go live on Tuesday around about 7:30 our time. I don't know what that is your time, so I'll let you calculate that one. But yeah, we'll probably go live about 7:30. We normally
I
jump
keep on
into...
forgetting this Slave's Canadian.
Yeah, so we'll probably jump into Discord around about 7:15 because I'm in work that day. And then, yeah, we'll do Dan, Kate, me, Slave, and, we'll do Canada. But yeah, it's been absolutely...
Happy Goose Day on Tuesday.
I'm just kind of still fucking shell-shocked, so please forgive me. But yeah, Space Marine 2 tomorrow. Helldivers Tuesday.
2:30 Canadian.
2:30 Canadian. Depends on where in Canada, though, doesn't it? Because different time zones. Slave, whereabouts in Canada?
Well, Ottawa.
Whereabouts in Canada?
Dox yourself.
Has he said it? Yeah. Just say your state. Your state will be fine. That's if it is states, or is it regions? I don't know what the fuck it
They
is.
don't have states in Canada. It's not
Nah.
America.
Nah. What is it?
Is it
What-
provinces?
provinces. Usually
6
6
hours
hours.
behind.
Winnipeg. There you go. Winnipeg. So 6 hours. So
Don't
yeah.
talk about pegging. DJ will get jealous.
Where is DJ as well? Is he enjoying his fucking Bad Dragons?
He's enjoying his BD.
But yeah, so we'll do Space Marine 2 tomorrow, Helldivers Tuesday. Wednesday we'll go back to doing God of
1:30.
War. 1:30, there you go, Slave. So we'll be coming about 1:15 so we can get all set up and we'll just talk through Discord and everything the same. And we'll just won't do cameras or anything. Well, we could do the 4 of us on camera if you wanted to, Slave. We'd do that. But we'll talk about that. If you're going to do cameras, get in about 7ish. So we can set it all up. But yeah, prize fund, 110. Still got a month to go.
Amazing.
What the fuck's going on? I'm just, yeah. Right, I'm going to go. Love you all. Michael, love you. Dan, Ad, Kay.
Been
everyone in
fun.
chat,
Thanks for having
Bravos,
us.
Slave, Filthy, Nigel, Luke. even Luke.
Michael.
Fucking love you all. See you soon. Take care. Have a great evening.